Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on a very, very busy day already. This is our NFL Bears free agency special, starting an hour earlier than we normally do because the negotiating window has already begun. Schefter is already reporting Bears news. DeAndre Swift, come on down. You are maybe a Chicago Bear. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. with you this morning. There's stadium news. There's a Jalen Johnson press conference. What else?
This has been an eventful morning.
Oh, yeah. Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to tee it up, but I'm hoping that you're going to tee up something along the lines of, Carm, you were right, we were wrong. In fact, the entire city, in fact, the entire media of Chicago, in fact, the entire fan base was wrong, and Carm, you were right. So go ahead.
About what?
As I dreamed so eloquently on this show about a creative mind, the brilliance of a Kevin Warren, the desire to keep the greatest franchise who hasn't won anything since 1985, but the pillar of the NFL, where they belong, in the city of Chicago. And now, here we are with the Bears, $2 billion that they're willing to commit. We don't know what the full number is, but hey, I'm not worried about that. I feel momentum. I feel excitement.
You're not worried about the
not worried about the other
$2 or $3 billion.
$2 or $3 billion that need to come. All right. First of all, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Welcome into the show.
You can't put a price on being right.
That's correct.
All Carm cares about in the world is being right. That he can't even let me intro the show before we get to something that's not even close to done. Regardless, this is a free agency show. We will talk a little bit about the stadium news off the top here a little bit and how Carm may or may not be right. Really more so how I'm right on what this really is. Please subscribe, though. Please hit that like button. We appreciate you very much. We also have a Twitter poll going right now. Which of the following players would you most like the Bears to sign? Top 4 options: Christian Wilkins, Danielle Hunter, Saquon Barkley, and Calvin Ridley. All are your main options, and we'll update those poll results on tomorrow's show. Maybe the Bears will have 1 or 2 of those guys as well.
2 super chats for Carm so far. Jay Toasty, $1.99. Carm, take your victory lap. I'll allow it.
Thank you, Jay Toasty.
And another $2 from Bear Down Omaha. Carm was right. Promote that man.
That's my guy. Thank you, Bear Down. Thank you, Jay Toasty. I'm obviously fighting a battle to my left and my right, but that's okay. I see you, Triple JV. You're with me.
No, this continues to be the dumbest conversation about who's right because we are all in agreement that the best case scenario is that the stadium remains in the city.
All right.
No one's ever said anything different than that.
All right.
Okay?
All right, I feel better already.
What we have said all along is that it's got to be the best stadium option for the Chicago Bears.
Right.
As well. And it needs to be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have answers, not I don't care right now, I just want to be right, where the other $2 or $3 billion is coming from, I'd love to hear it because all I hear today is what I've been telling you guys.
How much?
Kevin Warren continues to clean up Ted Phillips' latest mess, the last mess he left before he retired, which was, we're just going to go all in on this lot of land in Arlington Heights and have no other options and basically allow the government to push us around because we have no leverage. So now Kevin Warren has created the leverage with a realistic option. I'm giving you that. This sounds good. It sounds somewhat realistic. But the Bears, all they're doing right now is saying, we'll take this $2 billion that we have already committed towards Arlington Heights and we'll put it towards a publicly owned stadium that's going to be partially privately financed by the Bears, but all that matters here is the percentage of what that actually is. So let's go down memory lane here a little bit. What is going on? Well, this is the U.S. Bank Stadium playbook. There was talks about building in the suburbs of the Twin Cities. It didn't come together. So they figure out a way to build U.S. Bank Stadium on the site of the Metrodome, where the Vikings put up roughly 52% of the money. It was about $500 million of a little bit over $1 billion project. Okay? Stadium costs have gone through the roof since then. Also, this is Chicago. So we're talking way more than $1 billion. Right. So it sounds, at first you're like, oh, the Bears are offering $2 billion. The Vikings only offered $500 million. Well, all that matters, though, is what percentage of the total cost that actually is.
Right.
And in Chicago, where is that money coming from? Because do you know how in Minnesota, amazingly, they paid off that other $500 million that was publicly funded? They paid it off 23 years early. It's already done. It's already been paid for.
The opposite of what we do
We're
here.
still paying for Soldier Field.
Right. Because,
Okay.
yes, I get it.
Okay. Do you know the main source of that income or how they did that?
No. Tell me.
Pull tabs.
Okay. Don't know what that is either.
Pull tabs.
Exactly.
It's amazing. It's that simple up there in nice Minnesota land.
Exactly.
What?
Because it's not only the cost is going to be higher in Chicago than it is Minnesota. The red tape in Chicago will be much longer. It'll stretch all the way down Lakeshore Drive.
Okay. Let me just remind everybody, as Rob Schwartz is brilliantly putting in the chat, only stadium to cost more than $2 billion is SoFi. Allegiant Stadium was $1.9 billion, which is, by my math, that would be $100 million less than what the Bears are willing to put up. But let's just go by your math.
In the desert of Las Vegas, where the cost of living is the price of those balloons over there.
Listen, real estate novice. I
know a lot about the stadium stuff.
I understand that. I got it. I'm giving you all the credits, but you don't have to educate me on where.
But I do, because every time you say I'm right about this, you don't have an answer for the money.
I do have an answer for you for the money.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how they are going to do it. All right.
The Duke will do it.
Might be the Duke. That could be an option, although I think the Duke is going to buy the Arlington Heights property from the Bears and create Duke Island
In
Arlington Heights, something like that. Yeah. But regardless of that.
So we'll still have a moat.
Let me ask you some basic questions. Do you think that Kevin Warren is a smart man?
Yes.
Right. Do you think that Kevin Warren wants the Bears to be in Chicago?
Yes.
Do you think that Kevin Warren understands, as he has spoken, about how do you partner with people? You figure out what they want, you try to help them, and then you make a deal that hopefully will help you, which is why when you're reading through what they're doing right now, he's creating more park space than is there now, 20% more, according to the reporting from Courtney and whoever.
You sucker.
That's fine. You could call
the land's the same. You know where that extra park space is coming from? Do you actually know?
I do not know, but I'm telling you. But
because here's my other question. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a real thing. So right now there's a stadium, and there's parking, and there's park. Okay, they're going to build the new stadium on the parking, and their proposal is to turn the current stadium into park.
Yeah,
where the fuck is the parking?
Again,
hello.
I'll tell you, it'd be $1 billion in parking fees.
So as the Bears put out this very nicely leaked announcement on this beautiful morning where everyone knew there was going to be a ton of news and interest on the Bears, I'm just saying there's a lot of questions here that aren't remotely answered.
Yeah, Hoge, they'll figure out where to put your car. Don't worry about it. You'll have
it's not my car.
You'll have a great.
My car's gonna be in the parking garage down here as we do pre and post.
They'll figure out where to put Nicholas Moreano's car. They'll figure out where to put Brad Biggs' car. You can. There you go. The Dawshaw, my guy, Schlaw. Parking will be underground. They'll figure it out.
Okay, enjoy the tailgating.
You're getting. I don't listen. You're getting caught up in the details, which is cool.
Yes,
that's cool. That's cool. But you're missing the overall point here. which is they want to be in Chicago. Kevin Warren is going to stamp this as his thing. He's going to give back to the city. He's going to help the Bears. There will be 7 statues around the thing of Kevin Warren and how he got this done.
Let me tell you exactly what Kevin Warren's going to do here when this is all said and done.
Yeah, go ahead.
He is going to take the best deal for the Chicago Bears, whether that's in Arlington Heights or that's in Chicago. That's what he's going to do.
That's probably fine that he probably will do that. But if it's close, if it's in the remote ballpark, he's picking Chicago, dude.
Well, we're not going to spend too much more time on this because we are going to get to free agency. But there is also the other big issue here is the benefits of owning your own stadium versus doing what they're talking about doing here, which is essentially like this Illinois Sports Facilities Association situation with the White Sox. This is what they did in Minnesota. They created a Minnesota Sports Facilities Association. It's a government entity. What does the team get out of it? Well, basically free rent, control over the stadium, and then do we have news?
We have news.
Okay, you could just say that. We're doing that. Yeah.
But we got a fancy graphic. Look at this.
We got a fancy graphic, so we got to use it. Breaking news. And we are going to see how long I go into this show with breaking news that's actually not real, like last year's trade deadline. But Mike Garafolo is reporting the Bears have agreed to terms with running back DeAndre Swift on a 3-year, $24 million deal. Sources tell him and Ian Rappaport, after a career year with the Eagles, Swift heads to Chicago to be a big piece in Shane Waldron's offense.
3 years and 24 does. My initial reaction is that is tall. That is a significant price for somebody when you had Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley out there. He had a phenomenal year last year.
So let me get this straight. The running back the Lions let go to sign the Bears running back. The Bears are now signing that running back for more money than the one they let go. Does that all make sense?
Yes, and
I love the NFL. What a world!
Significantly more.
Yes,
and not just more, significantly more.
Well, it's 6.
Yeah,
6.
I mean, depending on the guarantees.
6 APY versus 8 APY. We'll see what the guarantees are.
25%, bro. That's
interesting. Yep, DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. But an element that the Bears need, a little bit of change of pace, can catch the ball in the backfield.
Well, look, we being down at the Combine, it was very clear that there was not a ton of love for the Bears' current running back situation. I don't think that Roshan's going anywhere, but this, and maybe Khalil isn't either, but it's if there's a taker, I think I think Khalil Herbert's probably played his last game for the Bears.
Including 3-year, $24.5 million deal, including $15.3 million guaranteed.
It's a big investment, man. That's a big play.
I mean, it is, but this is what I've been talking about, like that the Bears are in this position where they can afford to spend money on the running back position, and it's not really going to hurt them. I'm just wondering, look, he had more. DeAndre Swift had a good year in Philly. I mean, he ran for over 1,000 yards. He had way more attempts than he's ever had at any point in his career with Detroit. He's still extremely young. He's 25. There's not a ton of tread on the tires. Still averaged 4.6 yards per carry last year, and he catches the ball a lot. I mean, this is a guy that had 62 catches at his height in 2021 with the Lions, and still had 39 last year. So, he's a productive running back and probably better than anything they have on the roster right now.
So what is the yearly average, I guess is my question.
Well, if it's 3 years, 24, it's 8.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if, it's
I'm
front-loaded. You know what I mean?
Well, you said average. I don't know what the specifics are, obviously.
What's the cap hit going to be for this year is my question. Is it just evenly spread for 3 years, or is it front-loaded like the linebackers were last year?
Well, I can't imagine that they would do a back-loaded running back deal when they don't need to. They have plenty of cap space.
Because that's my whole thing is the cap space for this year. I mean, we have other needs. And the Bears clearly identified running back as one of their top needs going into this offseason. And I probably would have allocated money elsewhere. I guess I think more highly of Khalil Herbert than others. This was the cap space before the deal. As you're seeing on screen here, Washington, Tennessee, and New England leading the way. Washington with $96 million in cap space, with the Bears at $63.8 million before that deal. So let's just say on
it's
the
not good,
average,
like 15 off if you factor in Kevin Byard and also DeAndre Swift now. So we'll guesstimate that they're around $48 million.
48 more million to go. And it's going to go quick. If you're the type that wants Christian Wilkins or, Danielle Hunter or, somebody, on that offensive line, another center, or a wide receiver, so that's kind of my point here. And, teams have been able to find production from the running back position without putting a lot of money into that position. At the same time, as I've said before, I'm not going to complain about having good players. DeAndre Swift has been a productive player in this league. So now that box is checked as far as that running back room. You have Khalil Herbert, DeAndre Swift, and Roschon Johnson. I just personally probably would have gone a different route.
Jim Cook, who's leading us to the promised land here on our team, is putting in the chat that the 7th highest running back according to AAV right now. And he had a guarantee in there too. I think it's the 6th highest guarantee. Look, this is a big. I think this is just an interesting philosophy signing that the Bears still are willing to invest in the running back position. They tried to do it last year with David Montgomery. They didn't want him walking out the door. They ended up, not overpaying, outbidding Detroit, and he chose to leave too. I think it was at least fairly close. But here they are again, stepping up, willing to pay for a running back, and
it's not top of the market. If I'm the Bears, I want to have the 7th highest paid running back in the league right now. I need that. I need production.
Well, but right, exactly. They need production.
Yeah.
You do not. But the other part, you don't have a number 2 wide receiver.
They have space.
Okay.
This is not a problem.
Okay. At some point they're not going to have that much space left here. That's fine. They're talking about making a big play for Christian Wilkins. That's
okay. So let me tell you, Christian Wilkins. So let's say it comes out to 5 years, little over $100 million. I'm just totally guessing right now. So you're talking anywhere between 20 to 25 million average per year. That's a lot. It's about half of what you have left now. You have signing bonus. The cap number always comes down in that first year, and then the stuff on the back end's not always guaranteed.
Right, sure.
They have guys coming off the books they're not in they have $8 million to give a running back. This is not a big deal. The conversation should be more about what you think about the player. Do you like DeAndre Swift?
I started it with there were some very interesting running backs out there with Saquon and Josh Jacobs.
You better not complain about $8 million for running back when you got $2 billion in your pocket right now to pay for a stadium.
It's completely different. Look, I'm not sitting there like I hate the signing. I just find it interesting. First of all, also the timing of it. Like, you are jumping out like this is the guy that we want right now with those dudes on the board, not letting to see where it plays with a bunch of other needs as well, which is it. Hey, listen, I don't hate it at all. I find it interesting. I like DeAndre Swift when he's healthy, man. Dude's a good player, can do a lot of things.
There was a qualifier.
Will he stay healthy is the big question.
He's missed 9 games so far in his career. He averages over 2 missed games per season. I think that's one of the biggest concerns. Now, if you're trying to look at some positives, he got vultured a lot last season. When you have Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, he's going to get those sneaks. Obviously, the tush-push became popular more than ever last season. DeAndre Swift's numbers could have been a lot better, and we could be looking at this differently if not for all those tush-pushes that Jalen Hurts vultured away from DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, and so some of the running backs that were available, as we were showing on the screen a minute ago, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, A.J. Dillon, Alexander Madison. So the Bears go with DeAndre Swift. Again.
Do you know who the Bears' leading rusher was last year?
Justin Fields.
The quarterback. Do you know who the Bears' leading rusher was the year before that?
Justin Fields.
The quarterback. Do you know how many rushing yards the highest ranking running back had last year for the Bears?
Yeah.
611. Khalil Herbert had 611.
He was hurt.
Okay.
Missed a bunch of time. Yep.
611.
I got it.
And you need more than one. I mean, I think Khalil Herbert's a solid back. And the year before last, he led the league in yards per carry, and I believe like 5.9 or 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, but and that's great and it's true. But tell me when you're the lead back that you did that.
So you didn't like Herbert.
I don't know. I'm just saying this is an upgrade. They just signed a running back that ran for over 1,000 yards last year, and he caught the ball 49 times.
Yep, a high-octane offense, for sure. I mean, they're throwing the ball a lot.
This is somebody you can give the football to.
Would you have done this deal?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you're in, Hoge, I will.
The Bears got better at the running back position
in
the first 10 minutes of free agency.
I don't. There's no argument to be made that they didn't get better. That's absolutely true.
At some point, you have to pay players, okay, and they don't have a 4th-round pick to use, or I'm sorry, like a 5th or 6th-round pick to use on a running back again. Those are out the window,
right?
And you're
well, and at some point they needed it. We talked about this. They just signed a safety over the weekend as well, so they had to start allocating some money to the offense and start helping that side of the ball. They're putting a lot of money into the 3 levels of the defense, and you paid Cole Kmet. You traded a 5th-round pick for a center, but you obviously traded for DJ Moore. So you're checking some boxes, but as far as putting money into the running back position, this is the first notable move, thus far in the Ryan Poles era.
So I'm trying to think in my head, does this have any impact whatsoever in anyone's mind on what they're doing at quarterback, which I'm assuming the answer is no to that. He fit really well in Philadelphia, who had a quarterback in Jalen Hurts who is similar to Justin Fields. I don't think that this is changing anything, but I think that it's interesting too that you are adding somebody that certainly the Bears need playmakers, period. So, which was my point going into free agency. Go get a running back, totally fine. Hear what the league says. I like guys who are, when the ball's in their hands, they do good things. DeAndre Swift is absolutely that. I just think it's interesting the order of operations, but they made him a priority. This is, they really, this is their first hit. We like the price point. We can get him. This guy will help us. Let's go do it, and not letting other things play out first, which is they had the luxury to do with the amount of running backs that were available. So that's what I find interesting in it. DeAndre Swift's a good player. The Bears running back room is better, no question about it. Is this at all a slight gamble against that we're going to hit on the biggest targets that they have?
Well, it's the same concept I said last week when we talked about the idea of signing Saquon Barkley. Was I going to complain if they signed Saquon Barkley? No, I happen to be a fan of good players. Saquon Barkley is a good player. DeAndre Swift is a good player. As Steven mentioned, durability was his biggest issue leaving Detroit to Philly. If you're only missing a couple games, it's the running back position. I can live with you missing a game or two.
And you only missed 1 game last season.
Right. So I don't have an issue with that. My thing, and I said it last week, so I'm not going to change my tune on it, is I just don't put a lot of value in putting money in the running back position when I see other teams being able to get similar production without putting money into that position. You drafted Roschon Johnson last year. Maybe he didn't move the needle enough for Ryan Poles. I happen to like Khalil Herbert. You were able to get Deontay Foreman on a short veteran deal, and he was very productive. And I understand the outlier is, well, they had Justin Fields as your quarterback, which helped give them running lanes, or helped them be more productive because of the threat of Justin Fields. Well, in the event that they do change the quarterback here to Caleb Williams, he also is a threat to run, and he's also a threat to pass as well. So how many stacked boxes were they looking at last year? You're running RPO, and you've got to stay home with Justin. That opens up things, for the running back. But there are other ways things can open up for the running back as well if there's a different quarterback under center too.
Look, this goes for every deal that gets signed here, whether it's Bears or any other team. The the rule of thumb you need to remember here is the first reported money is not the real money. In 100 out of 100 cases, all right, it's always less because the agents want to get these signings out there and they want to make it seem like their player got paid and got the greatest deal of all time. And then when the actual contracts come in, you see, oh, the third year, nothing's guaranteed. And the signing bonus is this, and there's this incentive or whatever it is. So, this is not going to be a deal that hurts the Bears.
Well, along those lines, let's shout out Trayvon Smith, DeAndre Swift's agent, Athletes First. Good job.
So Ian Rappaport's putting out there, and we just flashed it on the screen. Gary was helping us out in the chat. DeAndre Swift gets $16.5 million in his first 2 years, an average of 8.25 over 2. So as far as guaranteed is concerned,
that's the guaranteed money, or that's just
Ian didn't specify.
Yeah.
Hey man, Bears got a running back, a young running back who's familiar with the division, who should have some motivation to go up against his former team twice a year. We can have a Swift Montgomery off if you want. Maybe Swift will come back and bite the ankles of Dan Campbell. Let's go, Bears.
There you go. And I saw a comment earlier that said this is not an upgrade because Khalil Herbert equals Swift. Okay. Well, now you have 2 of them. So that's an upgrade. Right? Well,
yeah, but you can't – they're not going to carry – it's interesting to me. What are you going to do with Herbert?
You're going to use him as your second running back.
What are you going to do with Roschon then?
You're going to use him as the third running back, which is what they did last year.
Yeah, but only 2 of them were active on game day.
That's not true.
Deontay Foreman was inactive all the time. He was inactive 5 times.
They had 3 running backs active every single week. You're forgetting Homer, too.
You think that they're going to take Homer off of special teams for – Roschon is now Homer?
What?
Homer was active because of special teams.
Okay.
He never touched the ball.
Right. Yes, so, Roschon Johnson is a special teams player.
Okay.
I've never no disrespect to Roschon Johnson at all, but I'm not sure in the history of the Bears has a draft pick ever been like overblown ever. Like from the second he was drafted, it was like this guy's going to be like no, he's a backup running back who's supposed to be good in pass protection. He's an outstanding teammate, potential captain, and he's a special teamer. And by the way, he lived up to all of that last year, except maybe a little bit disappointing in the pass protection, but I think he'll get better.
Right. And that was
But that's all he is.
And that was their biggest issue was pass protection at the running back spot. All 3 guys, Deontay Foreman, Khalil Herbert, and Roschon Johnson, all left something to be desired. So that would be my other question without, knowing with certainty is how DeAndre Swift is in pass protection. I'm assuming as much as he's on the field, he has to be halfway decent at it.
I'm going to make you a bet that Khalil Herbert's not on the team. You want to make that bet?
Oh, you're going that far?
Yeah.
You're going full overreaction to the signing.
Yes. I'll make you a bet. You want to bet it? Let's bet.
Okay.
Let's do – what do we want to bet on it?
I don't know. You're the one who came up with the bet idea.
All right.
No, I don't.
All right.
I don't care if we bet or not.
We're going to bet 10 jumping jacks on the show behind the scenes, and and whoever wins this bet gets to decide what you're saying during those 10 jumping jacks. Maybe 20. Let's go 20.
Saying what I'm saying?
Yes, I want you to chant like I love Carm. I'll have to think about exactly what you're going to say. You can figure out what you want me to say while we're doing the jumping jacks. And this bet is payoffable on opening day of 2024.
Okay. I just don't understand why, if Khalil Herbert was on the team with David Montgomery 2 years ago, and Khalil Herbert was on the team with
because they just paid
Deontay Foreman last year, why wouldn't he be on the team with DeAndre Swift now, especially when DeAndre Swift's not a 3-down back?
I think the Bears are viewing him that way. I think you have Roschon there. That's my prediction. Okay. It's different. You just made a major investment that they haven't made before financially. Khalil Herbert is older now. He's had injury issues last year. I'm going to bet you he's not on the team.
Khalil Herbert costs nothing.
He costs $1.05 million.
Yeah.
So he's very cheap.
Friend of the show, Jeremy Fowler, says the Eagles attempted to re-sign DeAndre Swift before the tampering period with an offer, but Swift waited it out and cashes in.
There you go. All right.
Hey, man. Again, because I've seen a lot of Carman being negative. It's not negative, man. I'm dreaming it big. I'm thinking Christian Wilkins. Let's go. Let's and which is another and on that side of it, what would be
Why are people saying I'm mad, by the way? I'm the one defending this signing. I'm the one being positive. I'm mad at Carm's takes. That's all I'm mad about.
I love my takes, and I love you, and I love Braggs, and I love all of you.
I'm just
telling you, look, it's cool. It's fine. DeAndre Swift, Bears running back room better. I like Khalil Herbert. Maybe he'll go on and have another 5 years in the league somewhere else, whatever. Or he'll play another year with the Bears, and then he'll leave. He ain't here long term, that's for sure. But there's some big fish out there, man. Big fish. I'm on the big boat.
And I'm here to tell you, you're on the big boat.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that your boat didn't sink even an inch with this DeAndre Swift signing. Everything's fine.
Okay. But would you at least give me no, you won't.
I won't I'm not giving you
the order of operations doesn't at all make it interesting to you.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
We're getting a lot of mixed reactions with Super Chats as well. Papa Hoge just hopped in with $5 Super Chat. I just as excitedly told my buddy that the Bears signed Taylor Swift as running back. Senior moment.
Good job, Papa
Taylor
Hoge.
would have cost more, for sure.
Oh, much more. Quinn Anderson here, $5 Super Chat. Don't love our first move. Swift has been mediocre and played behind the two best O-lines in the league.
That's another point. We haven't brought that one up. It's a very good one. He has been running around behind an incredible offensive line.
Mediocre in Detroit. He had a good season last year.
Yeah, he had a really good year last year.
Yeah, 1,000 yards.
I'm talking about the O-line. That's all I was focusing on. He played behind a phenomenal O-line last year. He's not stepping into that here, clearly.
$5 from Alex Amerling. I like it. Gives us a versatile weapon out of the backfield, which is true. He's great at receiving the ball out of the backfield for whether that's Justin Fields or Caleb Williams. That's a new element that they're going to have that he's truly elite at his position.
Yeah, it's an enormous upgrade from that standpoint. And anybody saying otherwise or diminishing that just hasn't really watched DeAndre Swift play football.
Well, let me also push back on one thing. They got to be looking at him as a 3-down back, paying him the dough. You don't think so? Really?
I mean, yes and no. Yes in the idea that he can play 3 downs, but no in the idea that every team is using more than one running back.
Well, of course.
Khalil Herbert's still going to play.
Someone's going to play.
Yeah.
Roshan's going to play.
Okay.
So Brad Spielberger, who's our cap guy, who's been on our show many times, kind of echoing some of the concerns.
When you say Brad Spielberger, the GOAT. Okay, now
Brad Spielberger, the
From
GOAT.
Pro Football Focus.
From
Pro Football Focus.
Our hero.
Another friend of the show, our hero.
Yeah.
Can't say I love focusing resources there at the running back position, to be honest. And then he also adds in Shane Waldron, Seahawks used second-round picks on running backs in back-to-back draft classes, so guessing he has some influence here if this Swift deal pans out. And then, he just adds as well, Bears didn't watch much 2023 Miles Sanders, I take it. So Brad, not big on the move as well. And that's fine. Like I said, I'm fans like myself. We want to get excited anytime the Bears sign anybody. Bears sign a player, he's good. Bears don't sign a player, he sucks. That's how it works, right? So I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade. This is an exciting day. We got a lot more moves to make. Being honest with you guys, the viewers, I personally wouldn't have made this move, but that's not to say that I'm not going to be excited for DeAndre Swift to show up at training camp and see what he's going to bring to the table here in Chicago. So, it's just one of those things. I don't personally value putting big money in the running back position. That's why, a few years ago we used to joke about, you guys might have paid David Montgomery. I said don't. We talked last week about signing Saquon Barkley. I said don't. So, I'm not going to change my tune today just because the Bears signed DeAndre Swift, but I'm also not going to rail against the signing either. DeAndre Swift is a productive player, even a good player, and the Bears just signed one. So there you go.
No one's railing about it. I'm not railing about it. Hoge is positive Hoge. I like the chat in there. It's like the angry Hoge is the best Hoge. That's a good Hoge.
Well, I think my argument though here is this isn't big money. It's not. It's not even top of market running back, which running back isn't big money.
Right. So if they had gone the other way, and let's say Saquon is at the top list, and they had paid Saquon, say, 10.
He was projected for around 12, Saquon.
Say okay, let's go all the way to 12. Say they paid him 12. What would your reaction been at that? The Bears just paid fake news world. The Bears just paid Barkley in 3-year deal for 36 with 23 guaranteed.
No. I made that point last week. I was in on Barkley to a point.
Right.
And it was probably no more than 2 years where almost nothing in year 2 was guaranteed.
Well, same. I'm just saying, put the same deal that they just did for Swift, but take it out to $12 million, take it out to the 2 years guaranteed, so it would be like $20 million.
So I'm
guaranteed.
saying no. I think this is a better value.
Okay.
I think this is less money for a 25-year-old running back that has less tread on the tires.
More tread.
Probably.
We got to work on our tread on tires. You want tread on the tires.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
I learned this last week.
Yeah, you're right.
We want.
You're right.
He has got lots of tread left. Plenty of tread.
Plenty of tread.
These
tread. Are new tires.
If you don't have tread on the tires, that's mean they're worn out.
That's a great point. It's a great point. I screwed that up. I'm fired.
Everybody does.
Well, we got tires experts in the chat that have pointed this out. So
okay,
I got
good
you.
Point. Yeah.
He's got plenty of tread left. Lots of tread.
Yeah.
Swift, tread, Bears.
It is just one of these overreaction things where, like, the idea of not having to pay running backs has gotten so out of control that it's like transformed to you don't need running backs. You do need running backs. And there is a difference between good running backs and just guys that you plug. Can you plug in guys and still get forward yards? Yes. But there's a difference when you have a guy that you can actually throw the ball to that, once again, from a football standpoint, do I need to account for that player as a defensive coordinator?
Yep.
When this guy's in there, do I need to account for him? Do we need to alert that this player is in the game? And all I'm trying to tell you is that DeAndre Swift has a little bit more of that than any running back the Bears currently have on their roster. And is it worth the $8 million a year? I don't think that that's big money right now to pay for that type of weapon that you need in your offense to run an offense effectively. You need more good players. You're the pay the good player guy.
Again, my biggest question that I can't answer, and help me out, Chad, if you know better than I, but tell me about his pass protection. Because, Khalil Herbert, I think, is an effective runner, but he can't pass block.
Yeah.
Roshan Johnson was billed, Tom Thayer said going into the season, he's the best pass blocking rookie he'd ever seen. But then we didn't really see that during the season. Deontay Foreman, in the Browns game, if you rewind back the tape, he had a miserable day trying to block for the quarterback in that game. So they had real problems protecting the quarterback, from a pass protection standpoint at running back. So if DeAndre Swift can bring that to the table along with his production, that's another big reason that's going to, be a big cog in your offense.
Well, and we have this. Oh, we got
some news. This is not Bears news, but Jonathan Grenard has signed with the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Okay.
Per Ian Rappaport.
So Danielle Hunter's out the door?
Yeah, probably. Edge rusher goes from Houston to Minnesota, so affects you in the division. And
that's super interesting because people thought he was staying with Houston.
Yeah, that is interesting. But usually, I don't know, guys, once you get to this point where you get to the open market, you usually end up elsewhere. And so that's what we're seeing here in this spot. So we'll continue to break that down. Obviously, the Vikings and Kirk Cousins right now is really the biggest domino everyone's waiting for, including the Bears. So we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. But we are less than a week away, guys, from St. Patrick's Day now. And no matter how you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, it's a great excuse to gather with friends and crack open a cold one, as you know. And we're going to be celebrating with Miller Lite. We might as well be celebrating free agency signings here with Miller Lite.
Let's go
as well.
Maybe that'll help my throat.
And as much as the Bears roster continues to change here, one thing that doesn't change, that's the great taste of Miller Lite. The original light beer, to this day, still the best one. Miller Lite has more of the taste you want, less of the stuff you don't, and Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. a light beer that tastes like beer. Less filling, only 96 calories, the original light beer since 1975. No matter how your team changes, you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.
And shout out to our friends at Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today, the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, there's a bunch of copycats coming in there. Empire cannot be beaten on quality, service, speed. So the competition is going to advertise low-quality products that Empire is not going to carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. But they're going to give you the best value that you could possibly find in your flooring. They're also going to make it easy for you with their virtual floor designer. Great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy. Snap a picture, instantly see how the new floors look in your room. It's sweet. Look, they pride themselves, Empire Today does, on their convenient shop-at-home service, and they help customers shop for floors where they use their floors so they get exactly what their new floors will look like in their home. Lighting, decor, all of it. They make it as easy and painless and beautiful for you. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners get $350 off when they use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions to apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details.
What did you say to me last week? Suck on that.
What?
Well, I was hoping that I wasn't going to do the read, but somebody over here was
I
doing whatever he was doing. So
I'm working,
Yeah.
and I didn't see anything in Notion that said, Greg, do that read.
Neither,
So.
I didn't see anything that said, Carm, do that read. But, being a great teammate, don't worry about it.
Carm's
You're doing
gonna lose
great.
his voice
You're
by
doing
noon.
great. I'm checking the news that's moving across.
Okay,
because
what's the news then?
It appears that the Tennessee Titans have signed Tony Pollard.
Okay.
So, and they were somebody that also had tapped into trying to, sign DeAndre Swift. So that's the other part of it.
So the Bears won.
Right, the Bears won. I mean, the Eagles looked into DeAndre Swift. Titans reportedly did as well. The Bears got him, so other teams were interested, and the Bears were the ones that, so now this is the next wave. So, it'll be interesting to see what Tony Pollard signed for to compare and contrast, but, interesting nonetheless. And then I think with Grenard signing, the defensive end going to Minnesota, I think that signifies that Danielle Hunter, is going to be on his way out. And that's somebody I'm very interested in here in Chicago, depending on the price. Because that's what I really was looking at coming into this free agency. Christian Wilkins obviously is the big target, and he's going to have a huge market. So maybe he's not in the cards because the price will get too high, but it ain't my money. And Danielle Hunter's another guy, just having familiarity with him. I would love for the Bears to sign Danielle Hunter because if you're just looking at what the Bears are doing on defense, they are close, man. They are real close to building a tough-ass defense. As you see here on the screen that Steven provided for us, top free agent edge rushers available: Danielle Hunter, Chase Young, Dorrance Armstrong, Jonathan Grenard just signed here with Minnesota, Jadeveon Clowney, Bryce Huff. The list goes on, Zadarius Smith. So some different options there. But the Bears are a couple guys on the trenches. I know Corey Wooten, he's like in my ear right now. There are two guys in the trenches away from being a truly dominant defense. I mean, they were already trending towards one of the better defenses in the league last year. Now you add a safety who we haven't talked about. Maybe we can talk about that now. If you can add a couple guys on that defensive line, you want to talk about what's going to help an offense or potentially what's going to help a rookie quarterback if that's the route they choose. A defense that turns the ball over, a defense that puts you in good field position, a defense that if your offense is struggling can hold the line. That's something that can help an offense out immensely.
Well, and that's why I would still spend the money on Christian Wilkins, because I feel like even though that's probably going to be the priciest of your four pricey contracts on the defense, and rightly you got to start paying more money on offense here. Going down the road of restarting the clock on the rookie quarterback situation allows you to do that. And putting Christian Wilkins in there allows you to go cheaper on your number 2 defensive end. It allows you to go cheaper at safety like they did with Kevin Byard. It allows you to, and really that's, where else do they have holes? They're set up pretty good at corner now,
right?
With youth.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
pretty much all you got to do.
And I'm with you. You sign Christian Wilkins. You've got Montez Sweat on a 4-year deal. You signed Christian Wilkins theoretically to a 4-year deal. You just signed Jalen Johnson to a 4-year deal. Your linebackers are solid right now. You have a young secondary with Kyler Gordon and Tyreek Stevenson. Brisker as well. So your defense is in place here,
right.
For the next few years, and that's exciting because they were already very productive to end last year once they got Montez Sweat.
You start getting consistent penetration with the dynamic 3 technique. You'll be fine with. Then maybe you go sign AJ Epinesa on the cheap, and then you draft another edge rusher with your 3rd round pick.
Yeah, and by the way, if you did that, the edge rusher that you would need would be in a very advantageous situation to be successful. If you got Wilkins in the middle, you got Sweat over there. If you can't get to the quarterback in that situation, then you can't play. So what ultimately, if they go that route, Ryan Poles is going to have to do the one thing that he hasn't done to this point, at some point here, for the Bears to be a true championship contender, Super Bowl contender, which is to hit on some late round wide receiver spots. Because if you start paying for everybody and then you throw in they pay for one more free agent wide receiver, you're gonna have to hit later rounds on wide receivers. And if you do that, which I would like to think he's capable of, even though the evidence at this point is not great with Valus and Tyler to this point in their careers, then all of a sudden you actually are a team that could do it. If things fall right.
By the way, Schefter's saying it's a 3-year, $24 million deal for Tony Pollard. So that's basically the same that the Bears was $500,000 less than.
My question is, if they're
Swift?
the same price, who do you prefer at the
I
same
prefer
number?
Swift.
I think I would too, because we saw Tony Pollard last year with an elite offensive line look bad.
He has shown no ability to be the true bell cow number 1 running back.
He finally got his shot last year.
Yeah, when he was in that timeshare with Zeke the year prior, he looked excellent. He really demanded that spot as the RB1. He got it, and once he got the keys to the car, he didn't know how to drive.
Well, and then here's all you need to know, right? Did the Cowboys try to keep Tony Pollard? Because the Eagles tried to keep DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
So when Tony got his chance in Dallas, as you mentioned, Zeke leaves, and now you're the bell cow. You don't live up to it. The Dallas Cowboys don't try to bring you back, at least by all accounts from what I'm seeing. But the Eagles did try to bring DeAndre Swift back. So sometimes what the team they're leaving sometimes will tell you the story of the player you're receiving.
Well, and also to credit to Poles, look, it ain't like he's flying in the dark here. He knows what offers are out there, and he's making a decision whether or not he's willing to pay it. I mean, it's not like they just. I would highly doubt he just came way in over the top for DeAndre Swift when he didn't have to.
And now all of a sudden, is the running back market starting to move back up? Because it's
getting some love for sure.
I don't know.
It's just surprising because
that high though. It's this.
It's just surprising to see running backs being the names coming off the board first. Like that.
We knew, but there's a reason we've been
end.
talking about it for 2 weeks because this was a strong running back class,
right?
And I'm still not seeing massive money being thrown here. In fact, if you're Aaron Jones in Green Bay right now, you're probably annoyed with these $8 million average deals. That's not helping Aaron Jones get 12 that he wants.
Well, he's waiting for the top end to go here, seeing what Josh Jacobs is going to get, at least he's hoping that Saquon's going to get paid. But your point is correct. That's right.
Yeah. Plus, there's not an obvious dynamic running back like last year when there was 2 in the draft that were worthy of going in the first round.
Somebody on the show was yelling to draft Bijan. I don't know who that was.
Now, if people I still find it weird that people are saying I'm Angry Hoge today when I'm actually defending the Bears on everything.
It depends on the thing. Most people love you. Some people hate you.
Yeah, well, that means I'm doing a good job.
Yep.
That's always been my rule. If half the people are happy with me and the other half are angry at me, we're doing all right.
My rule's been if 25% of the people like me, I'm doing great. Thank you.
I like you 25% of the time.
So
That's nice.
now I lost my train of thought. Oh, I will say the one thing that I am, if you want me to be Angry Hoge for a minute, I'm not thrilled with this until I find the Bears have a real ass center. Then I'm not happy. I'm still not like some. If you want to say this money could have been spent on a starting center, I'm with you.
Okay.
You know, I'm not just. And then didn't Mitch Moore sign with the Jaguars for basically the same money that the Bears? Why am I blanking on the guy the Bears traded for last week?
Because
Tyler Bates.
Because nobody knows
Ryan Bates.
Ryan Bates. Yeah, I was so close.
What did you call him?
I called him
Bates.
Tyler.
Ryan Bates. Yeah. How about can we get an Andre James in here? That was
Not free agency news, but David Bakhtiari has retired. He's battled some injuries the last several years for the Packers. He's a guy the Bears won't have to see anymore.
Bakhtiari is like what happened with Derrick Rose. That dude was going to be a Hall of Fame player and basically hasn't been able to play the last 3 years. And now he's just retired. Now Derrick Rose is still playing, so that's the difference. But
yeah, how dare you, Bakhtiari Rose or Rose Bakhtiari?
What?
I can't believe you just A, got me into a Derrick Rose zone, and B, Rose Bakhtiari'd Rose.
Oh, man.
The dude was phenomenal. And then
You understand what I'm saying,
yeah,
though?
I got it. He was phenomenal. He was headed right to the Hall of Fame, and then he got hurt. And
Bears fans are celebrating Bakhtiari retirement. The reality is that they haven't.
I should clarify. It looks like he's being released.
He's released, not retired.
Released. That's my mistake, guys.
But he might retire anyway.
Well,
Good.
he's okay. Yeah, who said retired? Oh, you did.
I did.
Okay,
that was my mistake.
Well, regardless, I don't know how much. Let's see. He's 32 now. Hasn't been able to play. I mean, this was a move the Packers had to make. I don't know really how many reps he has left in him. It's been a struggle for Bakhtiari to get back out there on the field.
Yeah. Well, bottom line, the dude was once a great Packer. He's no longer a Packer. I get the celebration, even though he hasn't been, anywhere close to the player or been on the field.
What do I get? What kind of prize do I get if I go this whole show without breaking news that actually doesn't exist? Because it's gonna happen.
You've actually done a very good job being composed over there today. I'm impressed.
Well, he's distracted.
Well, there's a lot of news rolling in. I'm looking on Twitter. I got Gary sending me different news. Then I'm vetting it out.
We
then I'm
actually
trying
have
to
a super chat
conversate
on
with you guys.
exactly
I'm
this.
arguing with people in the chat.
I woke up
So
to
there's a
Gary.
lot of things going on.
Did
Jay
you wake up
Toasty
to Gary
sends-
today? Because I woke up to Gary
I wake
today.
up to Gary every single
Jay
day.
Toasty, $5 super chat on that exact topic, Braggs. Have we created a punishment for Braggs if he gets got by a fake Schefter or rap account? Maybe some push-ups, or he has to give Carm 2 compliments.
Push-ups might be good.
Ooh.
Push-ups is solid.
No, you have to
I like how
give
you
Carm
went
2
straight to the
compliments.
push-ups instead of the compliments.
Carm 2 compliments?
Yeah.
Listen, you love me more than you love anybody else in the history of the worworld except for
He
your
did
daughter
call,
and your wife.
He did call me, yesterday to just do a weekend checkup on
Yeah, I felt bad. I thought I was a little, I wanted to check on
Or
you.
those Saturday. I
Yeah.
can't remember. But it was nice of you.
You were worried about Braggs?
You missed Friday's show. The guy showed up in terrible shape. I've never seen a
I didn't
guy.
miss Friday's show. I watched it from start to finish.
How'd it go? What's your grade on Friday's show?
That was a solid B+. It annoyed me, though, that Braggs had some phenomenal drop-ins.
He did.
He kept popping in and he'd say, nerd. and that was funny, but you were a little trigger happy and you were cutting yourself off a few times.
Or it's
You were taking yourself off the screen before you were done talking.
Finish saying nerd.
And that was bothering me.
Okay. Well,
You
I'll
could
work
have
on
held the
that.
nerd. It's true.
Well, and we covered safeties on Friday, and then
Yeah.
lo and behold, the Bears signed a safety.
Yeah.
We
We
still
got that-
haven't talked about.
We got that right. He was in the mix.
He was in the mix.
Did I say
One
anything
of
brilliant
Nick's,
about it?
Nick's highlighted 3.
I think I said something brilliant.
On Friday's show?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
That part didn't happen. You did talk. You were saying words, but were they brilliant or not? We'll have to check the tape.
Your best words on Friday, as we get back to free agency right now, but your best words on Friday is like, I just don't want to listen to you. That was funny.
That was good. Ben Wonderlick, $20 super chat. Love the Swift sign. Excited to see what Poles has up his sleeve next. It's Flus that has stuff up his sleeves. Excited for the Bears to also have a stadium the city will no longer own. Also, super stoked for the new Miller sponsorship. Hell yeah. We are too. Keep up the good work, all.
All right, Wonderlick
Appreciate it,
covering all the bases, baby.
Yeah.
Miller time. Jim Miller.
But that is another.
Okay.
I might have to have a
beer
Miller
sound
Lite
effect.
here.
Sounded good.
Wow.
Also, you look startled when I pressed that.
I didn't know we had that soundbite capability.
I heard it once last week.
I wasn't listening, apparently. All right, so
That never happens on this show.
who wants to make a prediction on what the Bears' next move is today? Anybody? Anybody? Step it up. Anybody? Hoge? Wilkins? You got it? You feel it?
That's the Bears' next move.
Bears' next move. Chat, you get it right, I'll send you a shirt. Somebody gets it right. That's right out of the old Carman account. What do you think happens next? Take a flyer.
Wide receiver. I mean, that's
Low-level wideout?
That's their. I mean, do they have to wait for the market to finish? I mean,
Let's look at these wide receivers.
Yep.
I think Ridley's going to cost you more than you need to spend.
got Marquise Brown, Noah Brown, Gabriel Davis, Tyler Boyd, Odell
Boyd's
Beckham,
interesting.
Demarcus Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Curtis Samuel,
Let me
KJ
tell you one thing
Osborne.
that doesn't make any sense. Trading for T. Higgins. Because that came out this morning that he's requesting a trade.
He's angry at the Bengal.
You're going to have to pay T. Higgins a lot of money, and you're going to have to trade a lot to get him. The Bears are not in that position.
The number 9 pick.
Fields
T.
for Higgins. Let's go.
No, I'm good.
We got a super chat
I'd
on that
rather
exact
draft one of the wide
topic.
receivers.
Marco Resendez, $2. Would you swap round 1 picks to get Higgins and then draft a defensive end after you swap those picks?
So where are the Bengals at?
Looking.
Carm, you got it?
I'm looking it up.
I don't think the Bengals.
They didn't have a great year, so they should be like middle.
Why would the Bengals make that trade?
Just a disgruntled employee, just to
That's not
move up
enough.
and-
That's not enough to get Higgins, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. He could be a number 1 on most teams.
Yeah, they'll get more than that for Higgins, I think, and that's my point. I mean, I don't think the Bears have the draft capital, and I just think it's silly. Then you got to go pay him. Maybe I just don't view T. Higgins the same way as other people do. I mean, he's
They're the 18th overall. That took me too long.
to me he's. So you're saying the Bengals are going to give up Higgins just to move up 9 spots? I don't think that's enough. And then on top of that, like, to me, Higgins is good, not great. Am I underselling T. Higgins?
You put T. Higgins on the Bears, that's a game changer. Considering where the Bears are at. Would I go down to 18?
Do you feel better though about that or having? I'm not even gonna say Rome Odunze. I think obviously that one, but like let's say Brian Thomas Jr. Like I'd rather use that 9th pick on a wide receiver, not have to pay him.
You'd be reaching a little bit if
and
Odunze
so-
and Neighbors are gone at that point too, though.
And so, speaking of Roma
It
Dunze,
depends.
for anybody that watched the 1920 football drive, mini series short that they released this morning, I think me and Hoge were in agreement that there was a moment in the show, in the video where Ryan Poles said, "If he's there, we'll take him," and Matt Eberflus then said, "We'll take 2 of them." And Hoge asked, "Well, who do you think they were talking about?" And I immediately said Rome Odunze. I can't confirm that, but it felt like if I had to guess, that was the name that came to mind. Did you watch it?
No,
I
chance.
watched a little bit of it. I was not as, yeah, right. So
there wasn't a lot in that episode that was revealing.
I watched the
but that was
first-
a pretty good teaser. I thought that they put in there.
Who was he talking about?
Yeah.
And then you'd have to line up what he was wearing that day, and then what day that was of the combine, because he had the vest on that day when he was doing interviews. So I'm trying to think of what day that was for positions. But regardless, it was a little tea leaf there.
I'm stuck on the number 9 for 18 for T. Higgins if I would do that. Not that that's even remotely on the table, but I'm thinking I probably would draft a center at 18. Let's go.
Okay. I mean, I would draft Jackson Powers Johnson at 9. I think he's that good.
Chat saying that they're claiming it was D-line day when he was wearing that vest when they were talking at the combine. So I always trust the chat.
Well, and then Flu's saying we'll take 2 of them. That would make sense for it to be a defensive lineman.
Okay, so then what defensive lineman? Dallas Turner? Who knows? Could be anybody.
We don't know. And one thing I can guarantee you is the Bears are not revealing any type of information on 1920 football drive.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just be very clear. They probably stressed over which players were even shown in that little highlight montage from the combine they showed.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, they showed this player. That means they're going to draft him.
They love showing a flirty, fun Flus on 1920 football drive. They really get off on that. They love to show just the Flus hanging out and being cool. And
I thought he was kind of sleepy in the booth.
Sleepy Flus?
Yeah.
In the first 4 minutes of that, which I had time to watch this morning after all the other things we were doing, which is on bad job on me. I should have woke up and oh boy, and what? I'll be okay. And watch 19-foot.
Did you just have a stroke?
I'm in great shape today. Don't worry about it. Which is
what just happened?
I don't know. This is so weird, odd.
You might have pneumonia.
Meandering cult. Maybe it's pneumonia. I'm just giving everybody pneumonia today.
You're a walking plague.
Pneumonia's not contagious.
My point is that I don't know what my point is.
Okay.
I've completely lost my train of thought.
Well, you almost died. Almost died, so I don't blame you.
The thought that I had beforehand was this. The Wilkins thing is super interesting to me because there's momentum around that. I do wonder, so do they look at do they look at Dexter and Pickens like they got those wrong? Or do they just look at them like that it's going to take a while for those guys to develop? I mean, how are the Bears looking at those 2 draft picks right now?
Well, I think that's a good question. To me, Wilkins, premium player, premium position in your defense. Where the Gervon Dexter thing comes in is probably the price point that you're willing to pay. Whatever you set that limit at, if they're out on Gervon Dexter, which by the way they're not, then maybe you're willing to pay more for Wilkins. But if you still have hope that he can develop into that, then you don't pay as much. I think it's a difference maker at a too important a position. And
right
when you continue to look at Gervon Dexter, who I think is a solid player, who was making strides, I still worry about the number one thing we worried about when they drafted him, which was the get-off or lack thereof. And Christian Wilkins is that penetrating, get up the field, disrupt the pocket, who also, by the way, is very good at stopping the run. He's the player you ideally need in this specific scheme. That's why it makes so much sense.
Right. And with all they have spent on defense, is it worth making that level of investment still with the offensive needs that they have? Which, again, gets me back to another just hanging over the Bears. If they're really going to get to where we all want them to get to, they're going to have to hit on some later round talents who can impact the game offensively. Wide receivers who can play. Who is the Bears' Romeo Doubs going to be? Somebody where is the Bears' Puka Nacua? You find somebody like that and doing everything they're doing, you have something really cooking.
So as we wait for one of the bigger dominoes of the free agent frenzy to unfold here, Zach Klein, this is just interesting. I always love reading some of these tea leaves. Zach Klein from WSB Channel 2 Atlanta, ABC TV, sports director, he tweeted 30 minutes ago, 50% of Falcons fans are going to love what's happening. 50% of Falcons fans are going to be disappointed. 100% the Falcons will be better in 2024 and in the playoffs. Lock it in.
Who is this?
Zach Klein.
Zach Klein.
Who covers the Atlanta Falcons for WSB Channel 2 ABC TV.
Zach, if you have something reported, if you don't do stupid
I like
tweets
that.
like that.
I like the flirty.
It's so annoying.
You suck, Klein.
That's
we love you, Klein.
That's the beauty of free agency is
It's
the
not
little
the beauty.
drip.
If you
It's
got
fun.
news reported,
It's
if you
fun.
don't, I got dirt on a player, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
If somebody has Klein's number, let's call him.
Want me to call him?
Call Klein. Get it. Send,
We all have Klein's number.
Do your
right,
standard
I'm
brags thing
gonna
and send him a
DM.
DM.
No, I'm not putting that guy on the show. Don't. If he's got news to report, he can come on the show.
All right. Well, I just DM'd him. Hit me up.
No.
If Klein's willing to come on, you're going to deal with it, buddy. Hoge.
Yeah.
We're bringing Klein right
I
here.
think
Hit me up, Klein.
Gary's not even taking credit for this. Gary's saying, Hoge, I didn't send that one to him. Shout out to you, Gary. Thank you.
How did you?
Even Gary's like, I don't want to be associated with this one. I'm out.
How did you get to Klein?
I just DM'd him.
No, but how did you find him originally?
It's called the World Wide Web.
Okay, so who retweeted it?
Nobody.
You just follow Klein?
No, it's
You're
just,
a Klein follower?
It's just.
I don't even know if this is true or not, but I might make you have to give Carm 2 compliments just for bringing that up.
Zach Klein.
We might have to do the brags punishment.
By the way, we're going live for 7 hours today, so that's why we can go deep. Zach Klein.
No, we're not.
Hit me up.
All right, we do have some other news things to talk about, including, which we haven't gotten to, the Bears signing Kevin Byard.
I thought you were going somewhere else, but yes, we can talk Byard.
Where did you think I was going?
I thought you were going right to the press conference and the breaking news that was on that press conference earlier today, but we'll talk about that later.
No, we're not. But yes, there was a press conference this morning with Jalen Johnson. Nicholas Moreano will join the program at some point here. He was covering that presser, and I'm sure also has thoughts on DeAndre Swift. By the way, he wrote something on Kevin Byard. Was that yesterday? They signed him yesterday?
That was yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
It's a weird weekend.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Well,
CHGO
Purdue-
predicted it on Friday. They signed him on Sunday. CHGO. Greater than all. Let's go.
Nick was apparently at the Blackhawks morning skate
What?
or pregame skate and wrote his story from there.
I was at the Purdue Wisconsin game
I
when
still
the news
need to-
broke.
I still want, but one of the two of you wrote about Kevin Byard from the game you were
Yeah,
at.
he did great.
Yeah.
Chip in the chat, by the way. Mr. Therapy Carb should be quite happy with Jalen's press conference. No chat has ever made me more proud than that one, Chip. That's right. I'm here, Mr.
You should have seen Carm's face when Jalen Johnson
You lit
revealed that
up. You
information.
lit up.
I couldn't believe what was going on. I want to thank God, my family, my friends, George McCaskey, the whole thing. And, last year I was dealing with being a sex addict, so I thought I'd like to thank my therapist. I was like, where did that just come from? And why did you feel the need to reveal it? And thank you for sharing your growth journey with us. That's amazing. That was big time, Jalen. That
was a true vulnerable moment.
Vulnerable, transparent, on his own side. Brilliant. I love it.
Yes.
I love Jalen Johnson. I loved everything about his press conference.
Yeah. What was he wearing, by the way? That was quite an outfit.
It looked like a diaper with colors.
Colored diaper.
Hey,
hey, you don't want to see the colored diapers.
Good point. Hey, by the way, just saw in the chat that
I liked what he was wearing, by the way. What was that?
I don't know what that was great. Hey, if you are new to the CHGO Bears, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are on Monday through Friday at noon. We do pre and post. Any breaking news, we are here. We got 4,000 people watching right now, so we hopefully have some new people here. Hit that subscribe button. What's your problem? You're a turd, Hoge? Is that what you're laughing?
What does that even mean? I don't know. That's not what I was laughing at.
Okay.
I was laughing at
I thought you
number
said
one.
you're a turd, Hoge.
Oh, well, there's been a lot of that today. Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I find it to be. I mean, if anybody wants to join JJ in admitting to their growth patterns or whatever that your deep stuff.
Is that what that was about?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Please hit that like button. If we get to 1,000 likes, I will tell Greg that.
I have to get off Twitter because that's not happening.
Well, it would be nice if you paid a little bit more attention to the show we're doing.
I am. I'm
What
helping.
I was gonna say was I will say out loud that Purdue will win the national championship if we get to 1,000. Actually, no, that's not gonna get us.
Yeah,
to
no,
1,000. People don't want
you
to
were
hear
right.
that.
You were good there. You were good there. I like that.
But what you don't know.
Need everyone in my corner here this year.
Yeah. Well, but you also think I'm the walking jinx, so I don't know if you want me to say that.
We get to 1,000, I'll make something up about Greg that
You know
might
what's
be true.
funny is when I was a bricklayer on this day every
you were
year.
a bricklayer?
Yes, I was. It's a little known story we have never told on this show. But every year on this day, I would almost get fired because all I would do is what I'm doing currently right now. And that is just constantly refreshing
I would have
Twitter. I
killed
would
you.
get nothing done all day long. Or attempt to. And so it's funny because now I'm still it's like my job to be looking at Twitter now and seeing this news, and I'm still getting yelled at for it.
Shout
No
out
joke.
Yeah.
So the last thing I said to my wife before I walked out of the house today was, "Don't be surprised if I get charged with murder by the end of the day." That's literally the last thing I said to her.
Who did you want to kill most at that moment? I definitely was in the team photo.
No. We were good.
We were?
I was just anticipating the day.
Oh, okay. Wow, I apologize for that cough. That's embarrassing. Marcus,
I'm not going to have to murder you. You're just going to die on your own.
Apparently so. Marcus Bruder, I have to go to therapy because of Carm's takes, is an excellent chat.
Yeah, that's
good stuff.
Marcus, you and
I
me.
blacked out onto Twitter about Courtney Cronin's tweet about keeping an eye on Danielle Hunter. I thought we were segueing to talking about the safety.
No one wants to talk about Kevin Byard.
No
I brought
one
it up.
cares.
No one had a
Bring
thought.
it up. Steven's got a nice
all right.
graphic. We've got
I
information.
did bring it up
Okay.
And then we started talking about your therapy.
because Carman immediately went to Jalen Johnson's press conference.
I'll talk about Byard for a minute. Look,
Oh, great.
dude's playing it. Here's our graphic on the screen, which
I'll
is
talk about Byard.
is comparing Byard to Eddie Jackson, 130 games to the 100, 748 tackles to 459, 66 pass deflections to 44, 28 interceptions to 15, 3 forced fumbles to 10 for Eddie.
He's
So
played
30 more
one
games.
extra- yeah,
30
he-
more games has to be mentioned.
well, and the bigger thing is, look, the dude's been in the league for 7 years, has not missed a game. That is impressive. And his story, this guy, I don't know how much you guys have done the deep Byard dive.
I have.
He was, his parents divorced. He moved to Atlanta. They had no money. They were getting evicted from homes. He was the oldest of the kids taking care of guys, taking care of his family. I mean, this guy's been a leader and been had to mature at a very early age. I think there's a lot of. I bet that part of the Byard signing is what he's going to bring to that locker room. So
Look,
I
great-
like it.
Yeah, great teammate, well respected. He's been better than Eddie Jackson, and he costs less, and he's way more durable. Biggest of no-brainer signings ever. That's why I don't. That's why, like, I don't. To me, there was nothing controversial about this. He's cheaper than Eddie Jackson. He's better at this point in his career. Is he going to be an All-Pro next year? No. Do the Bears need him to be an All-Pro? No.
And you could have taken a risk with that position, put a rookie in there, but they're solidifying the back end. They're who knows what they're going to do up front here. They paid a ton last year to bring in Tremaine. A lot of investment in that defense, man. And not leaving, this is one place where the Bears could have gone cheap, and they chose not to. Not that he's top of the market, I get it, but they could have put somebody in there on a rookie deal and let it fly. They didn't do it.
We got more free agent news. Lloyd Cushenberry, arguably the best center on the free agent market, has signed with the Titans. Sorry for the delay there.
Oh, that was like anticipation there.
Okay.
The Titans. So they
Why are
get
you
us-
question? You got different sources?
Well, my
And-
source on the chat is that he went to the Broncos. I'm just making sure that I'm
gone from the.
the way Steven just said it. He said it.
It's
in the
Titans. It's Titans.
It's
Okay.
You don't have to double check anything. It's Titans.
Okay,
It's
great.
Titans.
Thank you. Hi.
He was trusting Quinn Anderson.
I was because our
You
chat's-
pulled the brags is what
Quinn
Chuck did.
Anderson, 10 push-ups.
Anderson, get down and do him. Throwing some.
No, you should have to do them.
I didn't do anything. I just made.
You
I'm okay.
didn't trust our producer. That
Damn
took-
it, we should have just
Actual
let him.
To be
source
fair, I didn't
news.
trust myself
Our
for a second there. I had to
producer-
double
thank
check it
And
myself.
you went Quinn Anderson.
He didn't trust himself.
Chat,
He's going to.
Chat, decide if Carm just broke fake news, and if he did, he has to do 10 push-ups. We're going to let you decide, Chat.
You have to say 2 nice things about Greg.
Or 2 nice things about Greg. You got options.
Oh, I like that your own dad is calling you Angry Hoge now.
What? I'm just fired up. It's okay. Fine. You know what? I'm angry. I don't care anymore. I'm Angry Hoge. Sure.
Well, the Bears were never linked to Cushenberry, so I'm not going to take that as a big deal. But I do think it goes back to the Ryan Bates part of the conversation. The Bears don't think they need a veteran center. Doesn't seem like it. They are the Bears who have done this risky center thing before. Well, Lucas Patrick will be the guy. They're kind of doing the same thing with the Bates mobile.
I hate it. Can you
That's
just have a
Angry Hoge.
center? Just have a center. You know, like they did for a decade that one time.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, well, sure. I don't like giving that guy anything, but sure.
I mean, and it's just, and they have the money to do it. We'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll still do a high draft pick. I don't know. All right, let's bring in Nicholas Moreano, who's at Halas Hall.
Weird setting for Nicholas today.
Nick, hello.
Jaguars are signing
guys,
Bills wide
this is
receiver
the same
Gabe
setting
Davis.
that I'm always in.
I like Angry Nick firing back. No, it looks different. The lighting's different. You look different.
Well, I always look good. That's all I know. But yes, what's up, you guys?
Oh, I love this. Nick.
Nothing,
I love
Nick.
this. Nick.
Nothing, Nick. The look of disappointment on Hoge's face when we brought you onto the show, and then I just started blurting out news that's coming across. Gabe Davis signing with the Jaguars. It was important.
That
They're
is
wide
important.
receivers. I apologize. But welcome to the show, Nick. You
How's
look
it been going, you
great.
guys? A
Nick-
lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, Nick, what's your biggest reaction of the day? Let's get on in here. What do you got?
Oh, well, so I don't think it was surprising that the Bears ended up signing a running back with DeAndre Swift, and we're seeing now like Tony Pollard contract is nearly identical to what Swift is getting. As I'm kind of doing more research as into why like Swift being the guy, just kind of looking at what he did last season, he finished with 22 runs of 10 or more plus yards, which when you look at some of the running back, or when you look at the running backs that the Bears currently have in Herbert, when they had Foreman and Roshan Johnson, Herbert was the leading runner for the running back position with 13. Foreman had 12. Johnson had 8. So they just didn't have that big play capability. And I think when you look at DeAndre Swift, this is a guy that ran a former, 40-yard dash of 4.48. So he does have breakaway speed. And I think that was something that the Bears, wanted to add at this position a little bit more, dynamic playmaker. And I think DeAndre Swift definitely fits that bill. He doesn't answer the question that the Bears are probably looking for as a pass blocker, which, I think has been something of a struggle for the Bears when they look at all their running backs, including Swift. But dynamic playmaker that they add in the backfield that'll help out whoever is playing quarterback in 2024.
Well, if that quarterback gets rid of the ball faster, it'll be less of an issue too. Just saying.
No doubt.
I mean, if that's part of the offense, and then that minimizes that part of it. All right.
DeAndre Swift's best game last year, by the way, he came against the Vikings for whatever that's worth. 28 carries, 175 yards. He had a burst of 43 in that game, scored a touchdown.
28 carries. Damn.
That was most of the time he was in the teens, 16, 14, 17, 15, 16, 18, yada yada. And he was over 100 yards twice, back-to-back weeks, Minnesota and Tampa, and the most he had later in the season was 92. He also had a game against the Jets where he had 10 carries for 18 yards, 1.8.
Nick, what's the one thing right now you're kind of monitoring or waiting on to see, what domino falls, or where your eyes and ears headed right now?
Well, I think every Bears fan included, is like wondering what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins, right? Just in terms of that quarterback domino. Obviously, Russell Wilson going to Pittsburgh on the one-year deal, but I think everyone's kind of waiting to see. And I think the NFL world in general is waiting to see what happens with Kirk Cousins if he ends up staying with Minnesota. Then you have Atlanta, who I think is still looking for a quarterback and may be interested in a guy like Justin Fields. But that would be one. But also, are the Bears are they content at the center position right now? Because I think that well, you have Ryan Bates, and you have obviously I think a good depth piece for all of the interior positions, but I wonder if they're looking to address that position still with some of the guys that are available in free agency. So, I mean, those are two huge things that you're looking at as of right now. But defensively, the Bears look pretty set on all three levels of their defense. And Gabe Davis was actually a guy that we talked about, Mark, on Friday's podcast as maybe being a potential fit for the Bears. Obviously, he signs elsewhere. So if they want to go like a Curtis Samuel route for, a guy that's a lower, not going to cost you a lot of money, but still can be a capable pass catcher for this season, that wouldn't surprise me. But really, it all goes oriented to the offensive side, because it looks like defensively the Bears are looking pretty good at what they have. The Vikings just got Jonathan Grenard. That means maybe Danielle Hunter. Where is he going to end up? So things that maybe if you're looking for one defensive thing, wonder where that next big pass rusher goes.
So it doesn't sound like that's the route you'd go, because for me, I am starting to get a little defensive greedy, and I know that's all we do in Chicago is allocate all our money into the defense and don't put enough into the offense, and that's part of the reason why we haven't developed quarterbacks properly in this city. But at the same time, looking at this defense, how it's laying out now, they're damn close to being really competitive next year. If it were you and they had an opportunity to sign Danielle Hunter, like, is that a route you're going to take, or are you saving that money for the offense?
I wouldn't rule it out, Greg, because I really wanted the Bears to go get Jonathan Grenard. So I did want them to get a pass rusher. And if you can make the money work out, you have obviously a big investment in Montez Sweat. And if you get a guy like Danielle Hunter on the other side, that's going to make, I think, the entire defense's job a lot easier. But you do want to see some of these resources go to the offensive side, because it's leaning very heavily towards the defense. And they have a lot of playmakers. And even if they weren't to land a guy like Danielle Hunter, they're still going to be very competitive, and I think one of the top units in the NFL next season. But I just think for the overall team, you do want to see, obviously you want the fit to be right, you want the money to be right, but they do need to add some things to this offense to make sure that the quarterback of 2024 is going to be in a comfortable position to be successful next season.
Break in with big breaking news here, and not the news Bears fans want to hear.
Oh,
Wilkins?
I thought
is this an alert thing?
Yes.
Okay, now I know.
This is this is the breaking news. According to Ian Rappaport, Splash, one of the top free agents, is off the market. Dolphin star defensive tackle Christian Wilkins is headed to the Raiders. 4-year deal worth $110 million. It includes $84.75 million guaranteed. Done by the same agent that represents Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's disappointing.
Well,
I like Christian Wilkins.
Well, if you want to tie it to Fields, by the way, that's not the number one reaction here, but there was a picture of the two of them. Raiders need a quarterback, not exactly a perfect fit. Luke Getsy's in Las Vegas.
Well, there wasn't a picture of them. Christian Wilkins and Justin Fields are headed to Europe to do a camp tour.
Right. Well, they put them on the same graphic. Yeah. My bad. But they're spending some time together.
The same agency is why.
Yeah. No, I got it. That sucks. Bottom line. Would you guys have done that price point? Let's start there. Nick, would you have paid Wilkins $84 million guaranteed, $27 a year?
It's a lot of money, but it's a position that means a lot to this defense. I would rather have paid it on the interior than for a Danielle Hunter, if that answers your question there, Mark. But how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, look, this doesn't surprise me. I thought I think we will find out that the Bears were in on Christian Wilkins, and they just had their limit. The same thing happened with Hargrave last year. In 110, 84.75 guaranteed. That's a lot, and I think that the Bears probably. Ryan Poles has been very disciplined when it comes to setting their prices based on what they believe the production not only has been but will be, and they stay strict with this stuff, and it's probably the right long-term approach. As much as Christian Wilkins would have helped, I think he would have been a great fit, but this defense was already pretty good without him. right? So he could have taken him to the next level. But they're probably, if they can get the quarterback thing right, they're probably going to be fine without him.
I'll tell you this much: in a perfect world, which is not the one we're living in, you can't redo things, and none of this is about to make sense. What I'm going to say, but if you told,
at least you told us that up
yeah,
front this
if
time.
you told me I'm paying $19 million for Tremaine or $27 million for Christian Wilkins, I'll pay $27 for Wilkins. I'm just looking at how they're allocating their money. Now, again, imperfect world, you can't predict that he's going to be there and all these type of things. But it just, the way there's like that player on this defense would be super attractive.
I mean, 27.5 average per year is.
But that's what you're either going to have to draft that dude or you're going to have to pay that money. Like next year, the next.
He was hurt last year too, right?
Wilkins?
Yeah. No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he played all of his games last season.
All right, not
if I'm
hurt.
Not mistaken.
Just my brain is hurt.
That should be push-ups.
That should be push-ups. Okay. So, yeah, we're looking at defensive tackles here on the screen that are still available now that Chris Jones, Christian Wilkins, and Fletcher Cox, who has recently retired. Got Ashawn Robinson, Maurice Hurst.
It's a drop-off.
Grover Stewart. Yeah, Sheldon Rankins. DJ Reader, which there are some shaky reports running around Twitter that the Bears might be interested, but still I'm paying attention to them nonetheless. Carm's guy, Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, Chicago Bears there, Javon Kinlaw. So, yeah, it definitely falls off there.
Look, the Bears were better than people thought they would be in the middle last year, mainly because of Billings, but they also, and Justin had a good year. Not, he was the Justin Jones you would expect to be. And they did get better, the rookies did, later in the season. But again, you don't have that impact player there.
Well, I mean, if you go and look at, the Lovie Smith Bears and how they built it, they had strong linebacking cores at all times, good secondary, and good defensive ends. They tried a few times. I mean, they almost won a Super Bowl if Tommy Harris stays healthy. The 3 technique gets hurt. It's a big reason why him and Mike Brown not being able to play in that Super Bowl was a big reason why the Bears didn't win. But they always had the edge, on both sides. Adewale Agunle and Alex Brown or Mark Anderson. And they always had those guys on the edge. And so the guys in the middle, were productive because of the guys on the edge. So, again, if they are to sign Danielle Hunter, now you've got him and you've got, Montez Sweat with Javon Dexter, who made strides as the year was going on. You've got Zach Pickens as well, who's still somebody that's developing here in Chicago. You bring in a veteran on like a 1-year deal type of guy. That might be enough, because this defense was already productive. So, to me, I think that's something that can make this defense effective if they just get one more edge at the very least.
Nick, you're also covering the main reason you're at Halas Hall right now is because you were covering Jalen Johnson's press conference this morning. What were your takeaways from that?
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a lot from Jalen Johnson, and I think, oh man, where to start? So, one, Jalen Johnson's a very fresh-looking dude, and his brother's even more fresh-looking than he is, which you guys didn't get to see him on, at the press conference. But I think that this deal obviously meant a lot to him. Praise God, and was open about some of the things that he was dealing with at the time with the sexual addiction. But, I asked him, with this new deal, with Jalen Johnson now being paid as one of the top cornerbacks in the league, is there a pressure to kind of live up to that deal? And, he kind of just looked at me and, smiled a little bit, but he said the money doesn't change how he approaches this. He's still got a lot to prove, he wants to be the best number 33 in team history. So putting some pressure on himself, but the money doesn't stop the hunger. And I think that's the type of player that obviously Jalen Johnson is. That's why he bet on himself and had the season that he did. But he also has, when he was talking about his dad and how he used to watch him and his dad taught him about self-motivation, it kind of reminded me of we've all seen, the Jordan documentary and everything, but he used to believe that people said things about him. This is Jalen's dad, and even if they weren't actually true. So Jalen Johnson has that same kind of approach when he lines up across, a receiver. He thinks that those guys don't think that he's good enough. So he takes that mindset into each game. And that's just kind of the competitor that Jalen Johnson is, and how he wants to continue proving himself, wants to continue, like when he's looking at new goals for himself now that he has this long-term contract. I mean, he wants to do it all over again, do it 3 years in a row, wants that yellow jacket, like I said, wants to be the best number 33 in team history. But yeah, I think just with Jalen, he's still got things to prove, even though he's got generational wealth, and he couldn't even describe it yet because it hasn't technically hit his bank account yet. But when it does, he'll have a better answer of what that's like to, have the money that he now does, which is, when you think about it from our perspective, it's nuts. But, I think he'll have a better perception of what that really feels like when those bunch of zeros behind whatever first number it is hit his bank account, and he can essentially do what he wants.
I'd love to know what that's like. Can you imagine?
No,
Seriously.
cannot imagine.
I mean, when I get a $40 Venmo, I'm fired up.
I agree.
This dude, these guys, and congratulations to Jalen. He earned it. That was a very transparent Jalen. What was the reaction in the room, by the way, when he did his his vulnerability up there? Was people looking around like, what's going on here?
I definitely, when he mentioned that, obviously it was in his opening statement, so you're kind of like, oh wait, he just mentioned that he's dealing with this, this addiction that he's dealing with, and I think it wasn't until about I think halfway through the press conference where we kind of circled back to that, big kind of takeaway. So it definitely caught us off guard, and how he viewed it, though, it's like he's not the only one going through this, right? And he wanted to get that message out there for people that maybe look at these athletes on a pedestal, that they're people that can't go through these, things in life when they're humans too, he said. So I think he approached it the right way and how he wanted to get his message out on what he was dealing with, and that he's better for it. You look at, he was going through therapy last season, but if he didn't tell us that, we wouldn't have never known. Right, we wouldn't have never known because of how his play was, how consistent he was in the locker room, how he was, just viewed as a leader in that locker room. So, yeah, it definitely caught us off guard, but I thought he had a good reasoning in wanting to bring it up and what it can do for other people who are also listening to his press conference.
Good stuff, Nick.
Nick, we'll bring you back on if anything breaks, but appreciate the coverage from Halas.
Yeah, no problem, you guys. See you guys later.
All right, Nicholas Moreano over there at Halas Hall.
So I don't want to make light of any addictions or whatnot, but is there an addiction out there that's more universally accepted? I mean, everyone else like, me too. Yeah, I like sex.
Well, and we've seen some people in the football world be open with this. The new Panthers head coach, Dave Canellis, he actually wrote a book about his addiction to pornography and infidelity. Josh McCown, early, years back, came out and talked about
good memory
his
over
addiction
here. Wow.
to pornography and helping people, get off of that. So to your point, I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. And so hearing people be open about it, especially as Nick said, when you don't have to be, I think maybe that's part of the process for someone that's heavily addicted, is to be open about it, share their story, and try to help others, but also be open about and honest with themselves to hold themselves accountable.
New model of manliness, brother. Share what's going on inside. Feelings are good. Feelings are beautiful. Put them out there. Share vulnerably. Good for you, Jalen. Hoge, back to you.
All right, I'm going to make an awkward transition now to prize picks.
That's what we do.
Talk through that. I'm just going to say addictions are real, and if they get in the way of the important things in your life, good for Jalen Johnson for not only seeking therapy, but also being open and vulnerable to talk about it today. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. Just you against the numbers. It's that simple. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up, whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court. There's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Conference tournaments are here. They're going strong, which means the biggest moments in college basketball are getting closer. Be part of the action on Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball. You can now win up to 10 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. I wish I had gone on the more Connor Bedard goals yesterday. That would have been nice.
He went off.
He's
2
really
goals
good.
and an assist, 7 shots
You
on goal.
and
Great
Nick
game.
were both at the game? Or?
All I know is that Nick and I showed up at a Hawks game, and they had their best game of the season. Coincidence? I don't think so.
You guys didn't plan this, huh?
No.
You just at the game?
It's a couple football guys finally having time to go to a game on a Sunday.
There you go. There you
first
go. I
time.
was at a game on Sunday as well.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, I bet you guys put up a good fight trying to.
Who'd Purdue play again?
Wisconsin.
Oh, didn't even
They
know.
were trying to do everything they could to turn it into a wrestling match. But they
I have one thought on that game in a second. But first, go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code PHNX. Why does that say PHNX? Please use code CHGO as I go Ron Burgundy on you right there.
You just read it anyway.
I was thinking about what I was going to say to Bragg.
That's push-ups.
That's not really push-ups because it's in the script.
I was debating for a
I got
week.
Ron Burgundy there.
He's still
Use the
doing-
code CHGO. First deposit match up to $100. Prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO, not PHNX. Although you can use that too and help our guys in Phoenix. That'd be fine. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
That's right. I also want to remind everyone now is as good a time as ever to become a diehard here at CHGO Sports. Exclusive content coming right to your doorstep. Adam Hoge puts out a weekly newsletter and gives you some really good information that only you as a diehard can read. You get a free shirt right out the gate. And then you get a discount on any future purchases of shirts. You get discounts on our events, including our tailgates that we do every year before Bears games and our draft party that is going to be announced. I swear on everything in my life that it's going to be announced for the Thursday and the Friday of the draft, just like we did last year. Details to come, so clear your calendar. If you become a diehard, you can get a discount on that event if you go to allchgo.com/diehard. And there's just a lot of different aspects that come to it. We do diehard overtimes, after shows where we answer your questions face-to-face in our voice channels on our diehard Discord channel. So a lot of good conversation being had there. Nuanced conversation. Gary always feeding the latest information in our Discord chat. And it's provides you coverage with all the different teams too. Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, everything across the board here in Chicago sports. So go to allchgo.com/diehard. Become a diehard today.
So the Gabe Davis deal to the Jaguars, Diana Rossini, 3 years, $39 million, incentives that could take you to 50. Anybody on here would have paid that for Gabe?
What is it again?
3 for 39, incentives to 50. I don't see the guaranteed money yet. It's a lot though, right?
Not for Gabe Davis. I'm good. Solid.
16 touchdowns back last 2 years, back-to-back seasons, 700 yards.
He's very streaky. He'll have games where he doesn't catch anything. Then he'll have 3 touchdowns and,
Make some big plays.
Yeah. The Bears just tweeted, "Are you ready for it?"
Yeah, and you just yelled at Zach Klein.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell
for
at the
this.
Bears for this shit too. You got something, or you don't have something.
You ready for what?
You're just teasing your
I just
entire
quote
fan
tweeted
base.
and put, "You are literally killing us."
Yeah. That's not cool.
Like, what does
Do you
that
have something,
mean?
or you not have something?
With a smoke emoji.
Yeah, the smoke emoji. What is that? They're getting someone fast?
What
Now
the
I just have to
hell?
sit here and speculate.
It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood.
Are you ready for it? Yeah, we're ready. What do you got?
It's probably just DeAndre Swift.
It's like, asking me if I'm ready for some Taco Bell. Yes.
Braggs is losing his mind. I'm guessing that tweet is just about DeAndre Swift.
Well, we also had a tweet from Montez Sweat. We making some moves with a bunch of fire emojis.
Yeah, he's just reacting to the news too.
Or maybe
guys, players don't know it. The players, I've talked to players about this. They're sitting there. It's not like Ryan Poles is texting a player group chat. Hey, we're doing this. They're seeing the same news we are on Twitter. So he's just reacting. That's good. That's good. What I was going to say to you, Greg, about that game yesterday is that was the most embarrassing way to not cover.
Well, if you know anything about Courtney Green, which I can fill you into the stats later, but he's the king of making sure that Purdue doesn't cover.
I mean, you just handed AJ Storr the ball and then he dunked on you, and you didn't cover. I mean, you should be embarrassed. The entire state of Indiana should be embarrassed for Purdue for not covering.
Okay. I can't listen to this right now. Absolutely positive can't listen to this. By the way, congrats to the Northwestern Wildcats for finishing the top 4 and having double bye in the Big Ten tournament. Great season by the Cats. All right.
Boo-boo, he gave James Hoge a high five.
Did he? That's awesome. All right.
He did. That was his last high five as he walked off the court at Welsh Ryan Arena.
Oh, I'm sure Bowie will be back next year for his 8th year.
Okay, Greg.
Okay, so Zach Edey.
Okay. All right. More importantly than that. All right. You guys are losing focus.
There's no chance you have something more important right now.
There's no chance you have something more important.
This is going to be a letdown.
I'm going to find something more important.
No, you don't even have. You're pulling a Braggs, or you just
there's nothing.
Pulling a brag.
Why don't you just read the super chat that's on the screen if you're trying to change the subject?
I do want to get off of Purdue and the super chat on the screen, which I now can see after I take my glasses off. I don't know how people do this. This eye thing is really bothering me. Alan R. Johnson, $5. Is Brock Purdy a better quarterback than Justin Fields, or a quarterback in a better situation? The answer says a lot about why we believe in Fields.
Boy, that's a loaded question.
Okay, Alan.
How much trouble can I get out of this question?
Alan, you are teeing up trouble for all of us. But, Alan, Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. Justin Fields hasn't come close to the numbers that Purdy's put up. Let's be honest here. Do you think that Justin could go into San Francisco and do what Purdy did?
The answer is no. He can't throw with the same timing and anticipation that Brock Purdy has. Justin Fields is a more talented quarterback.
I'll agree with that.
He
Absolutely.
is dripping with way more talent than Brock Purdy is. But Brock Purdy, to this point, has come in and
the guy was an MVP candidate. But here. Let me just say this. I'm sorry. I got to get this off my chest because I know that. I get knocked on for Justin this and Justin that, but I've also got a lot of Justin love too. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are completely out of their minds.
Going with Russell?
Yes.
Yeah. We haven't talked about that yet.
You think that Russell Wilson, who I don't know, has borderline sucked for half of the last 2 years, you think that is a better play? You think that you're going over the top as the Steelers with Russell Wilson versus taking a spin on Justin, who's been in a shit situation the last 3 years? Mm-hmm. I think you're dead wrong. So that's fine. Not good for the Bears. That's one more option where you could trade him, value going out the window. But I think people are making a big mistake on Justin. And even 36-year-old Kirk Cousins, I got it, most accomplished quarterback out there, the whole thing. But if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, do I think Kirk Cousins puts you over the top coming off a torn Achilles at 36 that you're going to pay nearly $50 million a year to? I'm not doing that. I would bring home Justin to Atlanta way over going the Kirk Cousins route. I still think Cousins is going to end up in Minnesota, but I think people are missing an opportunity here with Justin. Who in Denver, you're not interested? I think there should be a lot more interest than Fields that apparently is out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you think about the money the Falcons are going to have to pay for Kirk Cousins if they get him, I understand the coaching aspect of it, the system, and Kirk Cousins is going to be a good fit there. He is. But when you look at the money compared to just bring Justin home, the marketing opportunities, I don't see a gap in the play that justifies what the gap in the money will be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Like Kirk Cousins has been better than Justin Fields. He will probably be a better fit in what they're trying to do there with Zach Robinson in that offense. All that aside, the money disparity is crazy.
Right.
Like, part of the argument that's being made here is the money by going the Caleb Williams route will let you spend more on the rest of the roster.
Right.
Compared to having to pay Justin eventually. And maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking, well, I'm going to have to pay Justin in a year anyway.
But
fine.
And if we're trusting Zach Klein, which I am.
Yeah, your guy. You guys have been friends for
you
37 minutes.
You put
They
in
DM each other.
To me,
Long
if
time
he's
friend.
saying 50% of the fan base will be happy and 50% are going to be mad, that screams Kirk Cousins.
I think it applies either way.
No, because if the Falcons traded for Justin Fields, a hometown kid, I think it would be close to.
You don't think that there's a ton of Falcons fans that want Kirk Cousins right now over Justin Fields?
I think if they traded for Justin Fields, Atlanta would go crazy. Yes.
Look, and the money part of it, you don't pick up his fifth-year option. You see how he plays. If he's phenomenal and you don't want to go long-term deal, you franchise tag him for 1 year. You pay up for the one season. He does it again. You pay him.
I just think that Cousins is using Atlanta to leverage Minnesota. If you're telling me Minnesota is trying to offer Kirk Cousins to stay, why would Kirk Cousins want to leave? He's already set up shop there. You know, if you watch that documentary on Netflix last year, he seems very comfortable there. He's got good wide receivers. You know, they've been building something for quite some time. I think there's some Vikings fans that wouldn't mind seeing Kirk Cousins gone, but I think Kirk would prefer to stay in Minnesota. So use Atlanta to leverage what you can from Minnesota to get what you can for guaranteed money and stay home, stay comfortable where you, instead of starting over and having to rebuild chemistry with guys you've never played with. I think he eventually stays in Minnesota.
Well, his wife is from Georgia, though.
Okay.
And they don't live in Minnesota in the offseason. I think they actually live in Michigan.
I know, but just from a professional standpoint, like where are you more likely to succeed as a football player? You got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I'm going to say Minnesota. You've played there for how many years?
But if you want to win a Super Bowl, do you think kind of the way the Falcons are resetting things? I know he has ties to.
He could definitely look at it as a
Wasn't
win-win.
Raheem Morris in Washington when Kirk was there too?
And he's the offense is familiar. Zach Robinson, Sean McVay, all that going on. I
That
think
applies to Minnesota though too.
Yeah, right. Which is exactly why I think that Kirk looks as a win-win. And ultimately, I think I do agree with you, Greg, that he's been there. The Vikings are gonna step up. If there's a huge difference in money, though, he'll go to it.
Mario Giovanni points out the NFC South presents the easiest path to success.
That's true too.
That's an interesting angle.
Well, and I've heard a lot of people say that, and I think I agree with it. If the Falcons sign Kirk Cousins, are they the favorites in that division?
Yes,
Probably.
I think they are.
Yeah, especially when you consider the Saints salary cap situation. They're in the red right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you got plenty of offensive talent that he can look at and think that I can make this work. But I don't know.
I get it from Kirk Cousins' standpoint, especially if they're going to pay him the most money. I'm not completely sold that it's the better option than taking a flyer on Justin Fields.
And to respond to my guy Finley, who's in our diehard chat all the time, so I feel like he deserves a phenomenal response here. Franchise tag Justin Fields top 5 in the league. Carman, my man. I'm saying if he takes off, he's obviously not that right now guy, but you bring him in, he has a great season, you win a lot of football games, you can't I don't think you pick up the 5th-year option right now, but if he plays great, yeah, you tag him. You overpay him for the one season. And then you can make a decision at that point with 2 years of him there, whether you want to give him the big money. That's what I would do.
I want another move to happen. Let's go. We have running back right out the gate, and 2 hours of listening to this guy try to form a sentence. I need another move. Let's go. On with the moves.
Listen, guy who can't do 8 times 3 and figure out that it equals 24. Don't speak on my English.
Let's get to some super chats. Shut up. Let's get to some super chats.
Yeah, we got 20 of them.
We got a ton of super chats. We're approaching the 2 hour mark. I'm sure by the time we end this show, That'll be right as we end the show is when the breaking news will hit. So whenever we decide to end the show, then the news that I've been waiting for will finally come.
We're not ending the show. You're staying.
We're just going to stay for 24. I can do the 24-hour show. You want to do a 24-hour show?
No.
No, we
No,
don't. We
you
don't.
I'll do a 24-hour show.
You
Do it.
Steven.
Okay, I'll do it.
How long
You
will you
two
stay
walk
with them?
off. I will sit here for 24 hours, and I will argue with the chat and curse people out. Crystal Simone, $4.99 super chat. Yes, Carm, Chicago Bears in Chicago. Hey, guys, let's go CHGO.
Thank you, Crystal. Saw you doing that early. Probably should have gotten to it before, but we got to it now. Brett Shaver, $4.99. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a Bears fan in Philly and could care less about the stadium stuff. Free agency is over. Brett, we apologize for making you sit through 6 minutes of what was the biggest story to start
There
the
wasn't
day.
any news yet. Yeah,
Come on, Brett. But we got you, buddy. We got into it pretty
Yeah,
damn quick.
there's another one here. Stephen D, $5. We are 10 minutes into free agency. Nobody cares about stadium talk right now.
That's great. As soon as news came in, we started talking about it. Thank you, Steven.
Chris Pagaro, $4.99. Carm, are you a season ticket owner? If not, be quiet. I want parking, cheap parking.
Yeah, there
Chris,
you go.
you know damn well that you're not getting cheap parking. and by the way,
But how about any parking?
if you were playing that better, Chris, you would say, Carm, I hear you live in the South Loop and you have parking passes. Maybe we can work out a deal where you give me 8 to 10 of those for the season, and because you love the show so much, and let's figure out a place we can meet. That would have been a good play by you. And by the way, I'm still open to it because I love everybody who supports the show.
Crystal, $5. Another one from Crystal. Hoge, you know I love you, but let us Chicago people who want it here enjoy the thought of it. We fans can't think that far. Well, at least me, LOL.
Right. Crystal, who loves coming to tailgates and going over to Soldier Field, doesn't want to be getting on the dumbass Metro to ride out to Arlington Heights to wait for...
I agree with you.
Okay, good.
I don't know how many times I have to say
You
that.
did say it.
But you brought no enthusiasm to it. You just came in with all your Hogisms.
Because I don't buy into the PR, whatever you call this, that this is this morning.
Little tug of war.
It's a leverage play, dude.
Bro, I think it's sure there is leverage to it, but I think they want to be in Chicago.
I do too.
Okay.
They're still going to take the best deal for the Bears.
All right.
Total Anarchy
Listen.
reporting you can drink on the Metro.
You can. I can confirm.
Yeah, I did that.
Duh. Of course you can drink on the Metro. Thanks.
Meet me on the Metro later today. Let's get drunk and just ride the Metro back and forth.
Hot
until-
take, tailgating on a train better than tailgating in an underground parking garage.
Hey, look, if it ends up working out there in Arlington Heights, and I'll be forced to get on board, and I'm not doing, if there's some reason that I can get to go to a game down the line, which I hope never happens, but if it does happen, I'll drink on that Metro with you. I'll make the best of it.
Another center just signed. Tyler Biadasz going to the Commanders. So,
See, I thought that would have been a good fit for the Bears
yeah.
because he calls his own protections too. Let's say hypothetically you have Caleb Williams. That would have been a lot easier for a rookie quarterback to accustom himself to the NFL.
Badger
Oh, yeah, he is.
offensive linemen, Badger linebackers, they typically work out. Bears, don't need a center.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Badgers, I saw a Badgers center yesterday get dominated by Zach Edey all day. Eric Freer,
That's because
$5
that
super
that
chat.
Badgers
Can't
center
hear
is
you. I'm
terrible.
talking too loud. I am entering my name into the fandom transfer
That
portal.
was right after the DeAndre Swift news came out, so he's not a big
Relax,
fan
Eric. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here, and you're going to be miserable with us until we finally win a Super Bowl.
Well,
Only complete losers would leave a team like Indiana, who you grew up with, and become a Purdue fan.
Don't listen. I'm not even going to talk to you because I don't like you.
I
JJ,
had a poll in the chat, too, about how fans felt about the DeAndre Swift signing. And 46% said great, 48% said just okay, and only 7% said hate it.
yeah, there's nothing to hate about it. I don't think there's anything to hate about it.
We don't believe in
You're
hating the show.
Yeah. No, we don't hate on this show. But there's nothing to hate about it. He's a productive, good player. It's just a matter of would you have spent that money there or elsewhere? That's the only conversation to be had when it comes to DeAndre Swift. JJ LaPlante.
I don't know.
JJ LaPlante.
JJ.
JJ. Don't call him Jalen Johnson. Swift is younger has half the miles of Barkley Jacobs and outplayed both last season. JJ all in.
Accurate. T Marsh 83, $4.99. Clearly the third best available back. I like better than Jacobs. Saves money from Saquon to do other stuff. This is a good deal. Cram.
Okay, T. Marsh, if you say so, I'm with you, brother.
That's all it took?
That's it. Well, I mean,
I tried to give you 20 minutes of reason.
Are you seeing
you just needed T. Marsh's $4.99?
You see his avatar? That guy's terrifying. I mean, I got self-preservation is a thing.
I actually didn't even notice it, but
okay, well, it's real. $9.99 from Chris Piguero. People hating on the signing wanted to sign Saquon or Josh Jacobs for top market value. You sign a proven RB1 caliber player for top 10 money, and people hating casual Bears fans shake my head. Hey, Chris, we take casuals, we take diehards. Everybody is, and we're all allowed to have opinions. You cannot dunk on the casuals. You were maybe once a casual. Well, probably not. You came out of the womb ready to go, but, you know, I love a good casual Bears fan.
Son of Gore, $2. How
What?
Swift
Talking to me or Chris?
is Swift? Our team does need speed. Carm.
We also got some clarity from that Bears tweet thanks to our chat. It was a Taylor Swift lyric. So there's
But
the
if
Swift
it was a
connection.
Taylor Swift lyric, then
Which it was.
which it was, fine. But like, use a Taylor Swift picture, something to signify a little more than you do the smoke emoji. Come on, Bears. This is a tough time for us right now. Zachary Francois, shut up, Jim. Zachary Francois, $5 super
Actually,
chat.
You know what? I'm mad at myself. I should have caught that.
What?
I've been listening to Taylor Swift for 2 months nonstop.
Yeah, you're the
with
Swiftie
my
of the
kids.
panel here.
I'm mad at myself. I should have had that. It's a bad job by me.
Bad job by you. Bad job by the chat. Great job by me. Zachary Francois, $5 super chat. First player to wear number 0 in Bears history.
That was confusing. I don't know how you got through that.
What was?
Number 0.
Well, I didn't know if I was going to say number 0 or just say 0.
That was a
Good
tough
pass catcher, which is a good change of pace.
The Bears have a thing with guys wearing 0, don't they? They don't allow it? Is that not a thing?
I don't know if that's
The
a
league
thing.
didn't allow it until last year.
Ah, okay, so not a Bears thing. I believe that was a Gary Ross direct message.
Gary's
that
saying
Bears on 0 they're not into zeros.
that's what Gary just said in the chat. Bears don't give out 0.
Well,
How do you know, Gary?
things are changing
That
over.
would be a very Bears thing.
We don't do 0. Come on. His name is Kevin Warren, and we're not being idiots anymore. That's why things are moving forward in a positive way. Thank you, Kevin.
Before we
$4.99
get the
Eli
next
Sherman.
one here, we're up to 4,750 viewers right now. Now, on the Blackhawks show, it's from the What Chaos podcast, they started this. They started doing what they call a like spike. I want to try something a little bit different. I got this live subscriber number right now.
Okay.
We're at 50,390. I want a subscribe vibe right now.
Let's go.
So on the count of 3, I want everyone to hit the subscribe button. 1, 2, 3.
Subscribed.
And I'm going to see
Just
how many we end up
subscribe.
getting. In the meantime, we could continue with the super
Do I have to
chats.
play Bop It now?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what the chat said yesterday. Was
Dude.
Bop It.
They were playing Bop It on there. They were keeping track of their scores. That's how they got through 24
That's why
hours.
they said that.
I don't know what Bop It is.
Oh, my God.
How old are you?
This
Old.
explains
Okay.
a lot.
Super old.
I would have thought Bop It was
Bop It?
Bop It, twist it, pull it,
Oh, God.
Bop It sounds very...
flick it.
Sounds into the spirit of today, for the record. I don't know what Bop It is, but I think I've bopped it.
Dude. No, you didn't Bop
I've
It.
never bopped it?
The subscribe vibe is working, by the way.
Yeah?
We've got over 30 just since we did that.
Let's go.
Thank you, everyone who hit the subscribe button. And don't stop now, everyone else who hasn't.
You need
Well,
to
and the reason to subscribe,
4,000
by the way,
watching.
is because, we're here doing breaking news shows, so you'll get a notification when you subscribe if Bears news is happening. If you're here right now, you're into that stuff. NFL news, too, not necessarily going. But regardless, we are here for you Monday through Friday, every day at noon, pre- and post-game, breaking news. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it.
You need to Google Bop It right now. You need
Right now?
You need to know what Bop It is.
Okay.
We do have another signing here,
Bop It.
kind of a lower level, but it involves the Packers because Packer safety Darnell Savage is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. Signs a 3-year deal, according to Ian Rappaport.
We got another one, too.
Yep.
Jonah Jackson. He is moving on from the Lions.
Okay.
He's heading over to the Rams now.
Oh.
You know, the Rams had an aging offensive line. This one actually makes a lot of sense for them, but also a huge loss for the Lions.
Yep, 3-year, $51 million, $34 million guaranteed per Mike Garafolo. So the Lions losing somebody on their offensive line. Sorry about you.
And that was one of their strengths last season, the offensive line.
Good,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, very good offensive line.
Yep.
Still good, even without him. But yeah, that's good money for Jonah Jackson. 3 years, 51, $34 million guaranteed. Okay. I'm still mad about that Taylor Swift line. God, how did I miss that? Did you find Bop It yet?
Yeah, the inventor is Dan Kiltzner.
Okay.
You
See,
didn't know that, buddy.
No, I didn't. I wish I was Dan. If I could invent Bop It.
For many millennials and Gen Zers around the world, the Bop It. It's one of the most memorable, iconic games of their childhood. Is that what it is for you, Hoge?
I mean, I wouldn't say that much.
Bop It has recently been nominated to be inducted into the prestigious Toy Hall of Fame, where Greg Braggs is the president. What's your favorite toy there, Greg?
Wait, don't answer that.
Bop It.
N64.
I still don't know what it is, but I'm reading articles about it.
Nintendo 64.
Okay. Why are
Those
you
were the
tired? You're not
days.
tired. Where's
Not
the
tired.
He is because he didn't sleep
I
last
was
night.
up till 3 a.m.
Can we talk about that real fast?
Yes.
I woke up at 5:30 today to Gary Ross, and then the news of
That's a terrible way to wake up.
we were not cuddling. It was via Twitter, and it's
Gary Ross was in your room.
we were not cuddling. He sent me a lovely DM. Gary's a married man, and we're not going down those roads. But we love Gary and everybody who supports this show. But the point is that I literally fell back to sleep after getting the Soldier Field potential staying in Chicago news. And in the next 2 hours, as I was trying to sleep through this throat situation to be ready for the show, I literally had a dream. I don't know why I just said that. Now Steven's walking off the show, but I had a dream that I was meeting with the Parks people, and I was sitting there trying to figure out whether or not this deal could happen with the Parks people.
Okay.
And they were mean to me in the dream. The Parks people were not nice people.
They don't seem like they're very nice.
I walked up to like a makeshift kind of trailer office situation, like they were just hanging out around Soldier Field, and I was trying to assess whether or not this was going to go through, and the Parks people weren't very nice. I don't know what that means.
Sounds very. Once again, 0 days since our last nonsense. We actually probably could have put that up 5 times already on this show.
I don't know what that. I mean, I'd like to again nominate myself for GOAT status because I don't think
Drew
anybody.
Black is saying you're the throat goat.
Well, I did not say that. I really hope I didn't. But if I did, then great. But the point is that nobody else in this media / fanland went instant dream Parks people. That makes me the GOAT. I don't care what anybody has to say about me at this particular moment. Me, GOAT, Carm. Thank you. Back to you, Hoge and Braggs. Did I really say throat goat?
No, you didn't.
Okay. All right. Hey, it's a long show, man. We're 2 hours and 10 minutes into this. And this guy, like,
No, he did.
I can't put it on him. That's all me, right?
What did I do?
You just missed the last 5 minutes.
You're so in
I don't want to listen to your stupid throat goat story.
you're so in your own world over there.
It's not own world. It's Bears world, and there's things going on.
Like what? Tell me.
Name one thing that's happened for the Bears in the last 5 minutes.
Well, the Lions just lost their left guard.
we talked about that.
So I'm monitoring the situation.
What are they saying on Twitter about the Lions losing their left guard? And by the way, Zachary Hilborn's can we confirm that that's a thing? Because I see
You can't
Jake
confirm.
Flanagan. Yeah.
This is a surprising one for me, actually. Josh Jacobs to the Packers.
See?
You didn't have it.
You didn't have it.
You're
what
sitting
were
there-
you doing there for 5 minutes? You didn't have Josh Jacobs.
F
in
for
the pack.
monitoring. What do we have the numbers?
No numbers yet.
Wait, what's the source on this?
Rappaport.
Rappaport.
There you go.
Rappaporter.
Wow, the Packers. Wait.
Wow. So let's see what the money was for that. I am just.
That's
it's
interesting.
It is surprising to me to watch the running backs, which normally is this like,
I mean, I love Aaron Jones. I don't get it. But okay.
you know, I like every year we talk about how the running backs aren't being valued and they're having trouble getting their money and they're all flying off the board before anything is going down. We're still waiting on Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Christian Wilkins was a big domino to fall, but it's surprising to me that it's basically been a running back frenzy here the first 2 hours of this day and this show here. It's not really what I was expecting. Even though
it's an indication of the lack of excitement about the draft class, for one.
We got another one, too. Hit it.
I'm guessing we're looking at the same one, Bryce Huff.
Yes, we are. 3 years, $51 million per Adam Schefter. Bryce Huff leaving the Jets to go to the Eagles on a 3-year, $51.1 million deal. He was an interesting guy because he is crafty at getting to the QB. If you watch some Bryce Huff action, he's not obviously the biggest guy out there, but he's got great feet, man. And the Eagles, you know.
Well, you know, and
And,
it also it's the defensive end domino as we have the list here in front of you. It's updated now, you know, and you still have Danielle Hunter, Chase Young, Dorrance Armstrong, Jadeveon Clowney, and others, Zadarius Smith, that are available. But this is just another domino that sets, you know, helps kind of set the price tag for other guys that are going to fall in line here. So now that Grenard and Huff are off the board, you have to ask yourself, you know, how much are you willing to spend on a guy like Danielle Hunter? Because I've still got my eyes really locked in on the opportunity for the Bears to bring that dude in.
And both of those guys that now have signed were rumored to potentially be someone of interest to the Bears. So, I mean, do you guys feel like this kind of accelerates their need for an edge rusher? Or do you think they're okay with where they're at right now? Is there like that knee-jerk reaction of we have to sign somebody?
No, they do need another guy, but I don't know that spending big money on, you know, a guy who's almost 30 is the smart move. Now, I don't know that this is going to be the case, but keep in mind that there are guys like Danielle Hunter that end up in the second or third wave of free agency and end up signing one-year deals. Especially when you start, just look at Yannick Ngakoue last year. I'm not saying Yannick Ngakoue is Danielle Hunter's level, but you know that there's always guys like this that end up waiting out the market, maybe not getting what they thought. So it'll be interesting to monitor. I want to go back to Josh Jacobs though for a second because just very interesting move by the Packers. They don't spend money. I haven't seen any figures on this deal yet. But they were rumored to be potentially interested in Jonathan Taylor
Right.
trade deadline last year. They haven't been able to work out a deal with Aaron Jones. Very interesting move. But they're going to lose AJ Dillon, but two really good running backs now.
Yep.
I mean, Aaron Jones has run down the Bears' throats for years now. They have. Sorry, but it's a true story.
Don't call him. Don't say throat goat.
So, Just lean into the moment. That's what's happened. We haven't been able to stop that guy at all. So if this it ultimately leads to Josh Jacobs replacing Aaron Jones, that's a win for the Bears in my mind, big time. And Josh is a good player. I was interested in him coming here, but I mean Jones has been a borderline Bear killer. I've seen that guy high step through 7,000 of our safeties for the last 5+ years. I mean, are you guys nervous about Josh Jacobs being a Packer? I mean, I kind of like this signing for the Bears.
Physical runner.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of highlighted some reasons why I think he's on the decline right now. And, you also have to factor in the fact Bakhtiari isn't there. I don't think it's a good signing for the Packers. We'll wait to see what the figures are, but I think it's going to cost.
Let's see how much they paid.
Yeah, let's see. I'm fully expecting him to have cost more than DeAndre Swift did for the Bears. So if we're doing a comparative signing, I'm thinking that the Bears came out on top here.
And I carry the same policy with them, like investing in running back. I don't know. I mean, I know that they have a lot of young wide receivers, so they're not necessarily paying those guys like you normally would, and they have a pretty deep, group there at the wide receiver position. So, hey, allocating some money into running back maybe makes sense for them. But I just think across the board, it's not good business to put too much money into the running back position.
Well, look, no one more aggressively shot down the idea of signing a player than Steven did with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
so we should be celebrating the fact that the Packers were the ones that signed him.
I was going to be very upset. He averaged a career low 3.5 yards per carry, and you think, well, maybe it was the offensive line. Well, when Zamir White took over when he was injured, Zamir White looked great. Mm-hmm. That's why the Raiders could probably stomach this loss in their backfield. So I don't think he's going to have a year like he did in 2022 again, where he led the league in total yards.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
I mean, the one thing about Josh Jacobs, as I mentioned when we talked to him before, is I've been in bed with him. So
It's
a true statement.
It's actually true. You have laid in a bed with Josh Jacobs.
Thank you to Sleep Number for sponsoring that.
It's really weird when you don't provide the full context when you say that, but
yeah, no, I know.
It is factually true.
But factually true. Sleep Number, great sponsor at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Then Jacobs was with there, and we did an interview with in a Sleep Number bed. It was awesome. I'm surprised by that play by the Packers fully, but hey,
yeah.
I'm shocked by you every single day. Let's get into the rest of the Super Chats here. See where else we're going. By the time we read 5, there will be another breaking news.
Probably. It's a good system. I like it.
So Eli Sherman here, $4.99 Super Chat. Bears have been one of the best run-blocking teams in football over the last 2 years. We want upgrades, or do we just want to be mad? It's
11:34 on day one. That's when he sent this message.
Oh, that was the time of day.
Oh, it's 11:34 on day one.
Which reminds us how long we've been going on the show already. It's been moving quick, though. I kind of want to yell at Carr more about the stadium, but we'll save it.
Go right ahead, buddy. I'll come right back at you.
Yeah, I'm with Eli, though, because actually I should have pushed back on this earlier in the show when it's like, oh, well, he's not going to be behind Philadelphia's offensive line anymore. Well, obviously the Bears' offensive line isn't as good. However, the Bears have been pretty good run blocking. So
that's true.
So I mean, to me, there's no reason why DeAndre Swift, can't immediately get the Bears running back production at a much higher level as well.
If you go back and go through his game logs, though, he really did not get the ball a lot in Detroit at all. And also a reminder that Detroit was terrible then too. So he wasn't,
It's very interesting how Detroit seemed very motivated to move on from both the running backs last year, and then Swift went off and had a good season elsewhere.
Yeah,
so,
well,
that might have just been a fit thing, for all we know.
Well, and the Lions were trash. He played on one of the worst Detroit teams of all time, and he had some big games when he was there. But this is a different Detroit team right now.
Guess who's back? I picked the perfect week to take a vacation. Finally, something else to talk about besides JF1 versus Caleb. Great to see you fellas at CHGO Live again. Hashtag let's fucking go. Hashtag fuck Green Bay. And as always, Bear fucking down. A lot of F words there in that super chat.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
you're going to pay $20,
And he's a diehard, so we appreciate him. He's right. No JF1 versus Caleb talk. It's been nothing but free agency talk here on the show. It's been quite lovely.
We did 5 minutes on I don't understand.
Unless we want to talk about Antonio Brown's reporting, which I would love to get into. Jose Quezada.
That could be on the second show of today, which, by the way, we think there will be a second show today.
There's definitely going to be. Well, we have Bears After Dark scheduled. So we're efforting that show here tonight. But it's almost a certainty that there's going to be some kind of breaking news show at some point. So just be ready, everyone. Jesse Quezada, $1.99 super chat, the center from Miami.
This was in regards to Carm asking who he thought everybody would think would sign next.
the center from
yeah.
Miami.
Yep.
Okay.
Incorrect
It's Connor Williams.
to this point,
Yeah.
but could be. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you. Chris,
It doesn't mean he's going to be wrong.
I just said to this point.
Yeah.
Chris D'Onofrio, I hope I said that right, Chris. One of my favorite days of the NFL season. Wouldn't tune in anywhere else but with you fellas. Appreciate the coverage of the inside. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you.
I'm going to go with D'Onofrio on that one.
Okay.
And Jidhen is giving us a shout out from Denmark right now. So shout out to Jidhen.
I want to be in Denmark.
You can go to Denmark.
We love Denmark.
Sounds like it just looks beautiful there. I would go there.
Denmark, Sweden,
You could go for a Danish pastry right now.
Franchile,
Botswana.
$4.99 super chat. The best part of starting this episode late is I'm able to skip Carm's victory speech in the beginning of the episode. Still love you, Carm.
Fran, I know you're going to go back and rewatch what I said, so don't even lie to us.
You should go back and watch it because I interrupted the victory speech a lot with reality.
Okay. When the day the shovel goes into the ground in the South Loop parking lot and they start tearing down the spaceship that is Soldier Field now.
You're not listening to me. I'm not saying it's not realistic.
I am listening to you. I'm just
saying it's not even close to done.
If it happens, you are not getting out of your praise to me by saying that you said that it could happen or whatever you're doing right now. You will show the At the Carm faithful the proper respect that we all deserve.
I will if it gets done.
Thank you.
Even though even you didn't believe yourself when you first said that.
I chose blind faith and hope and what's right in this world, which is the Bears in Chicago, damn it. Not in, I'd love to see about it Arlington Heights. No, you wouldn't. No, you don't. Stop lying.
King Duffy, $2. Can't wait for JF Buns to be done. It's Caleb Williams time.
Let's go.
Don't call him JF Buns.
Just reading the super chat.
Ruben C99, $5 super chat. If Cousins goes to the Falcons and the QB market dries up, would you think Justin would stay for a backup role? Keep up the great coverage.
I mean, Mac Jones got traded for a 6th-round pick. I don't think Justin's going to be here. But that was a frightening moment in Justin value time. 6th-round pick, huh? Remember when the rookie year we were debating who was the better quarterback, Mac Jones versus Justin Fields? Mac Jones went south, but a lot of that had to do with the Patriots going south too.
Mac Jones sucks.
Okay, fine.
Justin Fields doesn't suck.
It's a good. Let me ask you this: who would you rather have as a backup, Mac Jones or Tyson Bagent?
It just was how I wasn't expecting that name.
I thought he was going to say Justin
I thought he was
Fields.
going to say Justin
No,
Fields. And then
I'm asking
he
you.
just total right turn to Tyson Bagent.
Well,
Honestly, Bagent.
Bagent.
Yeah.
Yes, Braggs. Bagent.
God, I just can't handle this chat, man. They're just making. I'm
asking you a question right here, me and you.
Bagent. Leave me
Talk
alone.
to the human next to you, not the
Okay.
chat.
All right, because I mean,
You know how a show,
I am
Does
Mr.
Greg know how a show works?
I don't.
I'm
This show was supposed to be over 20 minutes ago.
I'm Mr. Bagent, and Herb Lawrence, who has never said anything nice about Tyson Bagent to my knowledge, is doing it right now. God bless you, Herb. Tyson Bagent all day. All right. So, but it's just interesting. You could have had the 15th overall pick in the draft to be your backup QB for nothing. Literally for nothing. A 6th-round pick.
Well, literally, that's not nothing.
That is nothing. That is a precipitous fall. You were just on this show last week saying the back end of the draft is complete shit because there's no.
I know. I was just calling out your use of hashtag literally.
Okay, fine. You could have had him for a 6th round pick.
Mark Gautier.
Oh, the goat.
The real goat. The Mark goat. The actual Mark goat.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest of all the Marks in the world.
Throat goat.
No, didn't need to say that. $5 super chat. Just re-up my subscription again. Original diehard. One of the OGs. Need to get the O-line figured out soon. Cheers from Easingwold, England.
I think they've got to figure it out, goat. Ryan Bates. First time that guy gets blown up on the inside, Hoge's going to have a meltdown.
I'm going to lose it. But if they draft Jackson Powers Johnson, all will be well in the world. It'll be fine.
I suppose it's a possibility.
Zachary Hilborn. Is there an L in there or not? Okay. The letters, I pulled a Carm there for a second. $20 super chat. Carm, no one is making a mistake. Bustin Fields doesn't make you a contender anytime soon. He's Lamar.
From Wish. It's a website where you get things for cheaper.
Oh, okay. I don't know that
They
website.
play Bop It there.
Justin would be best in a Taysom Hill role or as the Bears RB2. That's just harsh all around. Zach, we appreciate the super chat, but that's got booed by the general manager of CHGO.
and okay.
I mean,
I'm just going to go on the record. I'm just going to be wild and say that I don't think that Russell Wilson's going to work out in Pittsburgh. Just call me crazy.
You can want Caleb Williams without unnecessarily trashing Justin Fields.
All right.
I just got an applause from the GM.
If you guys were booing that super chat, you're really going to boo this one. This is from Love Owns You Now. Your fibs are so cute over who's your QB again. Newsflash, doesn't matter. We own you. We will always own you. Doesn't matter who your QB is.
All right. Listen.
Enjoy Josh Jacobs, asshole.
Listen here.
Whoa.
Too far. Sorry.
It's too far.
Too far. My apologies. Thank you for the super chat.
No. He's right.
No, he called us fibs.
Yeah.
You can call him an asshole back.
Yeah. Listen here.
We are above the fray. We are not. No. Yes, we are.
we aren't.
You two are above the fray?
Yes, I am.
I'm not.
I am.
I'm not. He's an asshole. Keep giving your super chat money. Dumbass.
Do you guys all know what fibs mean?
It's something about Illinois.
Fucking Illinois bastards.
Yeah, okay. Great.
I feel a little bit better about it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, though.
When you go to Wisconsin, you get called a fib a
Listen,
lot.
That makes no sense though, because it would just be fib.
You know what my favorite thing? Usually, when they use that against us, they say that the fibs in Illinois just drive fast. I'm like, yeah, we do. You guys drive slow. I'd rather drive fast. I'd rather get to where I'm going faster.
Oh yeah.
You love Wisconsin.
What kind of insult is that? You drive too fast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Listen, Madison Hoge, can we all get along here? $5 from Alan R. Johnson. Like example, people say Rodgers is better than Brady, even though Brady has 7 rings. Better quarterback or better situation? Okay. Hey, man.
It says Rodgers is better than Brady.
Well, they would say he's more talented.
Yes, that's a different thing, though. How do people not understand that? Jay Cutler's probably more talented than Brady.
Yeah,
just pure talent. Justin Fields is the most talented quarterback the Bears have ever had.
Right, but situation does matter to Johnson's point.
The results matter, which is why Brady's better than Rodgers.
It's a little too simplistic for me. Like,
I know you hate when I do that.
I mean,
7 rings.
Okay.
Versus 1.
So how many Dan Marino didn't win any. Where does he rank in quarterback history? Are we going to put if everybody that won a ring, are we going to put him ahead of Marino? Because if you do, you're an idiot. Like, that's just not.
I'm not basing it just on rings. I'm basing it on the fact that Tom Brady was the best quarterback in the league the entire time that Aaron Rodgers was there.
So, yeah, okay. I don't want to have a big Brady Rodgers argument. And one game, you want to take Brady over Rodgers, go ahead. But and Aaron just gets in his own way too much. But that dude wasn't.
One's certainly the better businessman, that's for sure.
Well, yes. Okay. I hear what you're saying, Alan R. Thank you for the super chat. So does everybody else on this panel. except for the one that's
I didn't hear it.
not
Greg,
paying
you want to
attention.
call that guy anything?
No, Allen's a nice guy.
I agree.
Carm's an asshole. Seth Butler, $2 super chat. CTESPN. Now we're getting somewhere. CTESPN says they're trading the number 1 pick. Is it legit? CTESPN is ran and operated by Antonio Brown. His coverage has been fascinating the last couple days. He did tweet out a few days ago that Russell Wilson was going to sign with the Steelers. And then last night when it happened, you know, the main media outlets weren't giving Antonio Brown proper credit for that. You know, obviously he knows people in the league. I can't see what's on your phone.
No, you cannot.
Whatever.
Focus on one having one
so
thought.
CTESPN is reporting that Justin Fields, that the Bears are going to trade the number 1 pick and keep Justin Fields. So he's, you know, echoing,
Okay, that's enough breadth to this.
sentiments of Bear Down Cuz. So things are starting to travel around the Bears Twitter landia. But CTESPN is, I mean, Antonio Brown. Do not disrespect Antonio Brown.
I will disrespect
No,
him.
you
The
will
guy's
not.
an idiot.
Okay. Well, he's
he
reporting
really
things,
is.
and when he ends up being right, you can apologize. And so
Is he calling it CTESPN?
he's
'cause
calling
he
it
has CTE?
CTESPN, and then he has like this graphic with a brain. It's so he's shaking things up, you know, on Twitter, you know.
Maybe he'll ride
You
out.
think that Ryan Poles told Antonio Brown what he's doing with the pick? I lost him. We had him for a couple seconds.
Well, because now
there.
the chat is
We
saying that Cousins is gone to Atlanta, and now I'm going to check because I don't care about CTESPN all of a sudden. Breaking news: free agent quarterback Kirk Cousins. Play the alarm thing.
No, this actually is real. This is coming
this
straight
actually
from
real?
the source. Mike McCartney, who is Kirk Cousins' agent.
Ouch.
He's a Chicago guy. Excited for Kirk Cousins agreeing to a 4-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
Ouch.
Wow.
That's
I mean, I see celebration in the corner there by the GM because he thinks it's more likely that Justin's going to stay. I hate that's a bad development for the Bears. That was your last potential.
Well, Adam Schefter said this morning on Get Up ESPN that the Falcons weren't even looking into Justin Fields. That was said by Schefter this morning on Get Up ESPN.
Okay, it's not looking at Fields. Okay,
Yeah,
it was.
so-
he was still the favorite in the betting markets, and I always believe the gamblers more than I believe anybody else.
My prediction has been that I think the Giants are the team that makes sense for Fields, and I've been saying that for a week or week and a half or so now. I think it makes a lot of sense. So that's the question. You have the Giants, the Seahawks, the Raiders.
Seahawks.
Yep, the Seahawks I think are a team that you have to consider.
Broncos?
The Vikings, the Broncos. Of those 5 teams that I just said, or the Bears.
There is nowhere that you can point to for Justin right now that he's going to as a starter. The Bears aren't. Gary Ross, I made a bet with you. The Bears wouldn't get a 2nd-round pick. You could pay now. They are not. There's the value for Justin is low. So now, for the Bears have 2 choices: get pennies on the dollar, 50 cents maybe on the dollar at best, and or keep them. That's the reality. So that ain't great. I'm not saying that.
And so, in your opinion,
no.
Hogue, do you think
I'm wrong,
What?
or do you think that's not logical?
Well,
Whatever.
Okay. What about the Raiders?
Raiders, Seahawks,
Patriots?
Giants, Vikings, Patriots?
You think that Luke Getsy thinks that and I think he likes Justin a lot, but you think he's a fit with the Raiders? You think they're not asking him? I don't see the Raiders.
I think at the right price it could happen.
Sure, the
I
right
don't
price.
think it's a- I don't
they
think
ain't paying
it's-
up for him. I'm just saying that. What do you think they're getting for Fields right now?
What the Bears are getting?
Yeah. Do you think they're getting a 3rd-round pick?
I don't know.
Because it could be a 4th, honestly.
Yeah, but now the market is there. Now Justin Fields is the top potentially available, whether it's the number 1 pick or Justin Fields. I'm not going to leave out the number 1 pick as the option. So for all these teams we just mentioned, the Giants, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Vikings, the Seahawks, Who am I missing? Of those teams, their option is either wait till the draft or trade for Justin Fields. And so Justin Fields right now is the top quarterback available. Now that Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins are off the board. So now the leverage comes back to the Bears if any of these teams are going to inquire to trade for either option.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that if the Raiders were going to go get a quarterback, do you think that Luke Getsy thinks that Gardner Minshew fits better in his offense or Justin Fields? I bet you would say Gardner Minshew.
I mean, this helps. So, okay, it hurts from a value standpoint.
Thank you.
It hurt. I think that the Raiders would. Like I've said before on the show, one of the top things we learned at the Combine, or at least that I learned at the Combine, that I would have never guessed before we got there, was that Luke Getsy and Justin Fields actually get along. And they're closer than a lot of Bears fans realize. So, to me, I think that Justin Fields to the Raiders is certainly on the table.
Luke Getsy did not come here for Justin Fields. He's not going to be – I mean, he might look at all the options available, might pick him number one, but he certainly that would be because there's not a lot of options left.
Look, the reality of the situation is, going back to some of my own reporting, the year the Bears drafted Fields, is that the Vikings wanted Fields too. Now, that was different regime, though. That was, before they had their new general manager and new head coach. So that doesn't mean that it's the same now. And I think that would be it's the same type of thing that we were talking about in Atlanta. Kevin O'Connell's system. That being said, they've gone up against Fields the last couple of years. They both know what has hurt them, and also how they successfully, mixed it up against him last year with a mixture of pressure and drop 8 coverage too. So, but that's a big question here. What do the Vikings do now? It's a huge loss.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of if they're in on Fields now, the Vikings just got bad.
Yep, the value
they did.
The value of Fields is like this concern for Bears fans, but yes, the division just got weaker today. And that helps the Bears.
No.
Because the Vikings got to figure out what they're going to do at quarterback now.
Yeah, and what are their options? And Justin Fields might be their best option right now. If you're Kevin O'Connell, I mean, I guess it's the same question you just said about Gardner Minshew.
It's a super bold move, by the way, for the Bears. We're trading you to Minnesota. That would be a super bold move.
One of my favorite things about this whole thing, and it includes Jake over there, I'm not afraid, this idea that nobody wanting Justin Fields, the twisted logic, and nobody else wanting Justin Fields should be more reason that the Bears keep him. What?
Yeah. And here's one way that this actually could help the Bears, by the way. The Vikings are picking at 11. We're picking at 9. Maybe the Vikings like JJ. Maybe he falls to that spot, and we get a significant haul for the Vikings to go from 11 to 9, or somebody to come up to 9 to get him. Of course, now J.J. McCarthy's being rumored to the Giants at 6, which feels fake to me. I can't imagine that they would do that. But so there.
That was my my bold prediction on the Combine, was that J.J. McCarthy's going to end up being a Minnesota Viking. But
in order for them to do that, though, don't you think they might have to trade up to 9 with the Bears?
Let's go.
If he's even there at 9.
Huge value for the 9.
They might have to trade up higher.
Right.
The Neighbors and Adunze are gone. The Bears don't love a wide receiver there.
Let me give you. What do you got? Diana Rossini. So what now? Look for the Vikings to go after Sam Darnold, who also has other suitors.
Jesus.
So now Justin Fields is falling behind Sam Darnold?
Or the Vikings should be looking at Gardner Minshew.
You love Gardner. Nobody loves the Gardner more than you.
I know. You bring him up.
Because Gardner's a good player.
He's solid. He did an unbelievable job at the Colts last year.
You can win with Gardner. He's obviously not elite.
Let me ask you this, because this is the what people are starting to kind of connect dots on. I'm asking Hoge. What I want to know is there any scenario where they look at the market and they say, we're not taking 50 cents on the dollar for a player as talented as Justin Fields. We're just going to keep him on the roster.
There it is.
And draft a quarterback anyway, or trade. Like, is there any scenario that they say, because of what the market and they're not getting what they want in a trade for him, that they keep him, and that sways what their decision will be going forward? Because that would go against this do right by Fields theory.
Right.
But at the same time, if nobody's willing to offer him a starting job, then what is doing right by Fields?
Probably just releasing him.
You guys talk this through.
Is this your second bathroom trip of the show? Yeah. I mean, Carm. Look, I think Carm is an immensely talented person, but if there's one job I could definitely rule out for him, he will never be hosting NFL Red Zone. Can't get through a 2.5 hour free agency show.
If Carm was like, tied up in an interrogation room, he would pee his pants.
Oh man, what
immediately.
You ever see like the NASCAR drivers get out of their car and they just like peed themselves?
Yeah.
That's Carm after he drives to Indianapolis.
So any scenario, let's just start with they're going to draft Caleb Williams no matter what. But any scenario that they keep Justin Fields on the roster because of the market not being what they want it to be in a trade compensation for him.
Look, I mean, that's a tough situation because
it puts Justin in a tough situation. It puts a rookie quarterback in a tough situation.
I don't think the benefit of saying, well, he's a pretty damn good backup quarterback to have should something go wrong is worth
or even the guy that you
position it puts Caleb Williams in.
Or even the guy you play to start and let Caleb develop, like they did in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
No way he washed his hands.
Was that a false alarm or what? Now I need to know what's going on here.
Careful.
What do you mean? You think I'm efficient?
Okay. Steven, I'm giving you a job for the future.
I don't know if I want this job. Go ahead.
We need a timer.
Okay.
For like something on the screen.
timer.
Every time Carm leaves to go to the bathroom in the middle of the show, we time it.
I could actually do that.
That was like 37 seconds.
What do you think I'm doing over here? I'm panicking that I'm missing out on the great content. Listen, I'm drinking a ton because the throat's dying. I think I'm good for the next at least 90 minutes. If we're kidding, might as well just go to after dark at this point. Look, hey, let me just throw my 2 cents in here. The locker room will handle this. They'll handle it. You don't have to give them away, man. You do not have to give them away. You don't have to. These guys are gonna. Enough with the whole.
It's not about it's. Dude, just picture OTAs with Caleb versus Justin.
Great, let's go.
Who's getting the first reps?
Let's go, Justin. You got to earn it, Caleb.
I'll just say this much. I pray the Vikings sign Sam Darnold. That's just glorious.
The Vikings are going to be in a position where I guarantee. If I had to bet on anything, I bet Minnesota is going to do what they have to do to draft a quarterback. If they've got to move up from 11 to 6 or something along those lines, then they'll do it.
If the Vikings did attempt to trade for Justin Fields and you're the Bears, are you asking for more from them than you are for other teams?
Of course.
I don't know that they're
What's
in a
the
position
asking
where
price?
they can. The only way you could do that is
leverage.
If you have a second team that wants them.
Yeah.
Well, I do think now that all the other quarterbacks are off the table, and the teams we mentioned, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Giants, the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Vikings. There's enough teams there that teams are going to inquire, especially if they think the market's low on them right now and they can get something, so you can start to budge your way back up to a third rounder or just seeing what you can get. So I think now it works back in the Bears' favor. The Bears still have to do their pro day with Caleb Williams. I think that's a part of the process. Don't give me that look. It's the truth. You that look. It's the truth. So
they really got to stop doing that.
What?
They know. They know.
Okay, whatever. Regardless, I mean, there's still a process that is taking place here.
There's a process.
Right.
I agree.
Medicals and all that. So, it doesn't now at this point, because the market, completely soured in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, as it seems, it doesn't hurt them to sit and be patient and see what teams flinch on, what they want to give for a quarterback.
I mean, there was various reporting, and reporting is a little too strong, but there was speculation, let's say it like that
Love speculation.
That a Fields trade was going to happen today or soon. That's what your guy, what is he all, CTE, SPN, whatever?
CTE, ESPN.
Yeah.
That's Antonio Brown.
No, I thought he was saying the Bears were trading the first pick.
That's what he said.
Well, originally he said that.
No. He just said
Can we
Fields
stop talking
news.
about what Antonio
regardless.
Brown is
Regardless.
reporting? I
Okay.
mean, Jesus, this is a professional show, kind of.
Very professional. Look, the bottom line is there's a lot of people that thought that something with Fields was going to be announced. It doesn't feel like it right now. Like, it feels like there's got to be some time for this thing to still develop as to who's going to decide that they need him. Right? Or
Well, no, I think this is the dominoes that we talked about. And now
But the way the dominoes fell. But go ahead.
But I have doubts that if Atlanta didn't sign Cousins, that they were going to trade for Fields. The
Obviously,
fit never seemed good to me.
Yeah, the Zach Robinson is OC over there. I mean, he's coming from being the QB coach and pass game coordinator for the Rams with Matt Stafford, completely different quarterback from Justin Fields, a guy that stays in the pocket and has no mobility whatsoever. Kirk Cousins fits that mold much more closely than Justin Fields ever would.
Yeah, and even in Minnesota right now, like they go to Sam Darnold, who's coming from Shanahan's offense, and probably draft a quarterback then. JJ
who was
McCarthy.
okay. Right, but at some point the number one options, who did you think the number one option was when this whole thing started?
For Fields?
Yeah.
Probably Pittsburgh.
Right. So, okay.
I think we might have.
Probably Pittsburgh.
Saquon's getting paid.
Looks like Saquon.
Is that real?
I don't know.
Saquon Barkley just tweeted 2 Eagles emojis.
That seems real.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
You're doing it?
I'm going to do it.
Yes, Saquon Barkley has agreed with the Eagles. Okay, we got money too from Schefter. 3 years, $37.75 million. It could be worth up to $46.75.
Woo!
Includes $26 million fully guaranteed, which is, by the way, more than what the total contract the Bears signed DeAndre Swift to.
Second highest for a running back average per year salary for a running back in NFL history. The running back market is soaring. It's back.
Yes, this is an example of it going. He beat the franchise tag number, and it has the potential maximum average per year salary of $15.85. It's almost double what the Bears
This is basically
get Swift.
This is basically the question I asked you an hour ago. Like,
Yes.
Would you do this?
No.
And okay, there you go.
I would. I like the Swift deal for a lot less money. And does this number make you feel better about getting Swift where the Bears got him?
Yes, it does. That's it.
Greg?
I'm happy with. I'm not paying that much for Saquon.
That's what I'm saying. But now that you see the money Barkley got, does it make you feel better about the deal the Bears got for Swift?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I still overall wouldn't
Just hate
pay
running
running backs. I hate all.
You would
running
eliminate
backs.
the position from football if
we
you
don't.
could.
Yeah, we don't need it.
I
Just
would
throw the ball
Just throw the ball.
if
because
that-
we've been so good at that here in
Yeah,
Chicago.
well, that's what we do here in Chicago.
That's what we do.
We get off the bus throwing.
But that's how we'll learn to throw the ball well in
We just
Chicago.
get rid of the running
Just
back?
Stop running the ball completely. And until you figure it out, just throw it every down until you figure out how to throw it correctly.
Yeah.
If this was
like
the
it.
Bears, I would have been excited in the moment, and then I would have been really nervous about it. A lot of dough.
That'd be yeah.
A lot of dough.
And that's
But
the thing. Like, had the Bears made that move, there would have been a lot of Bears fans just for name recognition and star power that would be excited and would want to just be excited about the move.
Well,
But there's also this element of, you got to kind of take a step back at times, and whether you are excited or not about a player, think about the bigger picture, which is the team. So, that would have been a tricky spot. They signed Saquon Barkley, obviously a superstar running back in his day here in the NFL, but it would have been hard for me to be like, doing backflips on the set over it, because that's a scary number.
Look, the Eagles wanted to bring Swift back. He left for them. They didn't, but they weren't going to pay that price. And then they looked at Saquon and said, "You've been healthy for a while now, sir. We're going to put you behind a real offensive line, and we're going to pay you top of the market because we think you're going to be that impactful." That's the decision they made, which speaks to their infrastructure, partly why they're bringing him in.
Steven, I just sent you a statement from Vikings GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. We'll have it up there if we can get that on screen here in a couple minutes, but he did come out on the Kirk Cousins.
While you're working on that,
situation.
Diana Rossini reporting former Commanders running back Antonio Gibson is expected to join the Patriots, per source.
It's always interesting when
Snoop Hogg was ahead of Rossini. Good job by Snoop Hogg.
Snoop Hogg. Oh.
You're my Snoop Hogg. Oh. I like when I see a first chat from somebody that I've never seen before and they just come firing at me. Yeah.
What? If someone just joined the show right there in that moment, what do you think their reaction would have been?
Now I got to worry about people first, like what the first thing they're going to hear on the show is
Snoop
Hoggy Hogg.
Hoggy Hogg.
I think they would think this is an amazing show.
I mean,
It's
it would probably
where I
been
need
a
to be.
better spot to jump in than the throat goat part.
You gotta
Stop saying that.
You gotta love Snoop Hoggy Hogg. That's our guy. It's a new level, man. I mean, I missed the Duke. Where are you, Duke? But Snoop Hoggy Hogg is making me feel a little bit better. Back to you, Hogg.
Okay. I don't know. I'm terrified to end this show.
I know, because
I'm terrified to keep it going.
As soon as we end the show, that's when the next big Bears thing will break.
But if we keep going, we might get fired. So what do we do?
I like our chances of not getting fired. I mean, you guys will definitely survive. I might get fired, but I'll wish you well. And I'll go do my sidewalk show that I've always been destined to do.
Okay.
Me and 3 people will have a great time. Go ahead.
Here's the statement from Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, who is the Vikings general manager. He said after significant and positive dialogue with Kirk and his representatives, we are unable to reach agreement on a contract that fits the short and long-term visions for both Kirk and the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk holds a special place in Vikings history, and we appreciate his leadership and contributions to the team and the Minneapolis-St. Paul community over the past 6 seasons. We wish him, his wife Julie, and their children all the best. Our approach heading into free agency always included layers of contingencies regarding the quarterback position. We are moving forward with plans that allow us to continue building a roster that can compete for a championship. It's always interesting to see the parallels between the Vikings and Bears because the Vikings reportedly really wanted Ryan Poles. And George McCaskey wouldn't let him get on that plane to Minnesota.
Yep.
And it just seems like the Bears are in a much better position going forward here than the Minnesota Vikings are, especially after losing Kirk Cousins.
How about the career arc for Kirk Cousins? Nobody wanted the guy. Kirk Cousins stinks. Gets a huge guaranteed deal, and now people are looking at the Vikings like, how are they going to survive without Kirk Cousins? Hashtag Kirk Cousins career path. Dude, the man's come a long way. Got to give him his flowers. $50 million guaranteed with a $180 million capability of the contract. That is large.
Cousins deal, 4 years, $180 million. Comes out to $45 million per year. $90 million guaranteed in the first 2 years.
Oof.
There's a 2026 injury guarantee. And it $50 million to sign.
Woo! Woof.
Was the noise you made? Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got another one. Jon Runyan, former Packers guard, he is signing with the New York Giants. 3-year, $30 million, including $17 million guaranteed. So the Packers lose another one.
Go, Pack, go.
Take
It's a
that,
good
Packers
day.
guy from the super chat earlier.
It's a good Bears day. No Cousins, Runyan, Bakhtiari, signed Jacobs. Lions have been asleep.
Lions lose their guard.
Lions lost a guard. Okay.
Yeah.
Good Bear day.
And
Barely.
And the Fields fandom is dancing in the Twitter streets right now, thinking that he might be staying.
Bear Leave keeps putting in the chat Danielle Hunter to the Bears with the alarm emoji.
That's not real.
And I'm literally going to go crazy. Knock it off because I keep falling for it.
you do know that because you just said that. It's just now everyone's going to do it.
I get my information from the chat, and when you put misinformation in the chat,
But this is
that
where-
leads to me reporting fake news on the show.
Stop leaning on the chat for your information source. This is the problem. I don't understand how you don't understand this.
I understand nothing, first off. Second off, Gary is in our chat, and Gary is a direct source of great information
DM
for
you.
me on a daily basis. Well, but he started in the chat. So if it wasn't for the chat,
Wait. Okay. Everybody, here's a lesson. Because Twitter's tough now these days too, and you have
Yeah.
fake accounts.
yeah.
Set your notifications to the people you trust. I'm not going to tell you who those people should be. You can make that decision on your own.
Wait, you can set notifications to people on Twitter?
Right, but that's how you know it's real when it comes across your phone. When
Can
it's
we-
a notification?
All right, just get the Duke in here. $5 from Meet the Max. Thank you, $5, Meet the Max.
Yeah, no message there, but thank
We
you.
love you, Meet the Max.
I'm starving. I want some mac and cheese.
Yeah. The Duke, who I called for, has appeared.
Oh, there it is.
Yes. Because I
How
love...
this works?
Yes.
Who
you
I've
ask
called for.
You summoned him.
You call.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, I asked, and there he is.
The Duke.
49.99. Oh, do you miss me, Carm? I thought you replaced me with some ghost person. I was actually worried that you took that personal, Duke. I would never replace you. I've got you buying Arlington Heights, Duke Island at Arlington Heights Field. You're going to put horses back there. Hoge's going to come out. He's going to bet on the 2-horse. We're all going to have fun. I should just fade into the background. Can we please just sign Hunter for our other edge so our minimal picks can be used on offense? Please, polls. Hey, that would be a serious dunk on in the division if we go that route.
I'm very interested to see what the contract ends up looking like for Danielle Hunter. The more and more I think about it and see how this is going, I feel like it's going to be high money but low years, and I'm fine with that.
We got another one, and this one is Andrew Van Ginkel, former Dolphins linebacker.
My guy, Badger.
And another Badger today.
Van Ginkel?
He is going to the Vikings.
24-hour show, Jake?
Okay.
Can I come out there and smoke a cigar with you?
No, you cannot. You'll sit there and do whatever the weird things you are that you're doing.
He might be more.
Go ahead.
His thoughts. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Get out of here.
Well, now everybody's putting all these fire alarm emojis in the
I
chat.
told you that. All right. First of all, Van Ginkel, Andrew Van Ginkel going to the Vikings.
John Fuzz, Bears sign Tom Waddle.
Okay, stop. Van Ginkel is a good signing for the Vikings. Brian Flores had him in Miami. He's a good player. He's like a fringe starter, but always gets his hands on the football. It's kind of like Sanborn. He's just a Badger backer that gets he finds ball. Badger find ball.
All right, I'm very happy that you just brought that up because I really felt bad on Friday that we did not do literally the whole show on Jack Sanborn because he was named the recipient of the 2023 Ed Block Courage Award. Sandgod, I apologize that we haven't gotten to this since now, and it took Van Ginkel and Hoge in Wisconsin to have this come up. But you were so deserving of the Ed Block Courage Award that exemplifies the qualities of Ed Block, the former head athletic trainer of the Baltimore Colts, based on courage, based on compassion, based on commitment, based on community service. Shout out to the Sandgod. Way to go. Is A Mitch right? Can we do that one? Let's do double check. Twitter. Braggs?
Nope.
No, not right.
I don't know.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
There was a Darnell Mooney chat in there.
You can't trust the chat right now.
Oh my God, I'm going to
kill
kill both of you.
Yeah,
It's actually happening. It's
happened.
actually happening.
I'm sorry, but that one just seemed right.
I've been disciplined today, so you can't get mad at me.
I've been mostly disciplined. That was a mess up. My fault.
Push-ups. Push-ups. Right now.
Don't have that in me. His throat's dying. Love you.
Throat goat.
Back to the Sand God.
All right.
Ed Block Courage. Sand God.
Do we have more supers?
Yes, because every time we get
And we
through
have
3 of them.
21 of them.
But hey, that is a good sign because every time we start doing super chats, then big news breaks. So let's get back into it.
I mean, in all seriousness, if we're going to keep going, we're going to have to start a rotation here, and we're going to have to figure out lunch. And we have to work in Carm's bathroom breaks.
I'm good for at least another 2 hours, unless I start drinking again, which I probably need to because my voice is going.
I mean, I need to start drinking.
You want let's bust out the Miller Lights. Let's go till 3.
All Miller Lights?
Yes.
I can make
Sure,
that happen.
let's go. I'll have to. I mean, that'll supercharge my pee needs. But let's go. It will. Hey, maybe I'll just we can always get creative here.
Where did Jake go? He didn't jump off
He's outside smoking a cigar.
He didn't jump off the balcony, did he?
We
He's
should
literally
do the next
doing
hour of the show outside. I've got some stogies in the bag.
He's not smoking a cigar.
Yeah, he's got a little Black and Mild.
He does?
Yes.
Yes.
Since when does
Yeah,
he
he
do
did.
that?
On occasion. I don't want to out him.
Jake and Braggs are dating. He does that on occasion. Sometimes he has a beer.
You had a cigar once and then proceeded to pass out in a bathroom from
That did
it.
happen.
Brendan Henderson, $5 super chat. The only thing to get upset about is Montgomery outperforming everyone and getting paid less. LOL. So yeah, because
He had a good year.
you don't sign Montgomery. What did he end up signing with the Lions for?
18 over 3.
So 6 a year.
Good. There we go, Braggs.
And so you
Making
pass
some
on
math happen.
you pass on 6 a year to then the next year pay 8 a year for DeAndre Swift.
I'm in.
Adam Hoge, would you take DeAndre Swift over David Montgomery?
Cheers, buddy.
Um,
Would I take David Montgomery over DeAndre Swift? Yes. Cheers to me. But it probably works out better this way because I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess in hindsight they should have just kept Montgomery.
Less money.
A little less money. I think Swift gives you a little bit more wiggle. A little bit more
Jaquan
pass
Brisker.
catching ability.
Jaquan Brisker just tweeted, "We don't care." 3 words.
Can we just...
What does that mean? He's got to, honestly, if I was the Bears, I would tell Jaquan to you know what, Twitter and you, that's not your thing.
Did anyone just see what just happened? Braggs asked me a question. As soon as I started answering it, he stopped listening to me, went into his phone, and then interrupted me with a tweet that no one knows what it means.
Carm answered it. He said he would take Montgomery.
Wasn't that me who was talking? Am I losing my mind?
He said it too, just so you know. You checked out 1 second after I said it, apparently, which is a tough moment for you.
Matt Nuku.
Nuku.
$4.99 super chat. I like the Swift signing. Interested in Hunter at the right price. Let's get some depth and signed and keep building in the draft. Happy Monday and bear down.
Here's what we're really doing. This is a real punishment. I get your phone for 5 minutes.
No,
Yes, 5
why?
minutes.
Something
5
could
minutes.
happen.
It doesn't matter. Well, it will get reported. Probably more accurately.
This is crap.
5 minutes. Give me the phone.
This is crap.
Carm.
Yep.
We can start a timer.
Okay.
What time is it?
I'm gonna ask-
2 o'clock
Here,
on the button.
look.
This is bullshit.
Set a timer for 5 minutes.
This is bullshit.
Siri will help us out here. It's not. You deserve it.
Now I all I have is to go off of the chat. So I'm just going to start reading what they're reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Moy, Bears sign naked John Cena.
Okay, you could contribute in other ways. Your brilliant football thoughts are welcome right now.
Yeah, anytime you want to give a
Bragg's timer is on.
Bragg's, we have a real timer. This
You're
is
gonna be
amazing.
okay. It's good for you.
This is great.
Everyone's saying Xavier McKinney to the Eagles. Is that true, or am I just reporting fake news?
Who's everyone?
Everyone in the chat, including Gary Ross.
If Gary's
Zach
reporting,
Myers,
it's probably true.
Bragg's traded to the Onion.
You keep this up, or you're going to lose your computer too.
Need this for ad reads.
We're done with those.
Hold up on Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, I haven't seen a credible source yet. I'm still scrolling.
Whoa. Can I go Can I honestly have 1 minute here that has nothing to do with the Bears, but big Chicago story?
Do I need a second clock?
No.
Okay.
Did you see this about Porter Moser
No, I did not.
from
DePaul?
Hoops Weiss, who's a legitimate? I heard this the other day.
Porter's coming to DePaul?
I heard this as an idea. Porter Moser reportedly in line to leave Oklahoma to become the head coach at DePaul.
Wow.
That's a great.
This was actually an hour old.
So he's going to go from Loyola to Oklahoma,
Back to
Chicago,
Yeah.
and coach DePaul.
Wow.
Was he not doing well?
Messed that up.
Was he not doing well in Oklahoma?
I heard some whispers though that they weren't happy down there.
They couldn't have been. You don't come to DePaul from Oklahoma, with all due respect to the
DePaul
Blue
has money though. It's a great hire for DePaul.
Maybe
Good
he
hire
just
for
likes
DePaul.
Illinois better. I mean, he was at Illinois State prior, too. It's interesting.
That's
I
crazy.
mean-
Look, he was really resistant to leave Loyola, I remember, before he finally did. Man, that's crazy.
Yep. Well,
I love that hire for
hey,
DePaul.
let's go college basketball right here.
So, anyway, I know that doesn't have to do with the Bears, but that's big news. That's big Chicago news. We are CHGO after all.
I like how Bragg switched from his phone to his laptop now.
It's funny how
I'm not on
You're
Twitter.
watching the show.
I'm not on Twitter.
kind of funny how I tried to talk college basketball for a minute and Braggs
Yeah, you
didn't even
didn't jump
respond.
in.
No, it's interesting. Porter Moser to DePaul. It helps strengthen the basketball scene in the city. I'm always for that. He definitely made a mistake, I think, leaving Loyola. I think that goes without saying at this
But
point.
if Loyola
DePaul?
can keep going without him,
I've
and
never.
he can get DePaul going. The atmosphere Saturday night at Northwestern was awesome.
Right. I have never understood why DePaul can't recruit in this city. Never. It's no excuses. There are so many talented players. There's guys that are coming off the bench for some teams in this city and find their way to schools outside of the state and play very well in college. And yet DePaul for decades has yet to be able to dip in one of the richest high school pools of talent in terms of basketball in the country. So it's no excuse. So Porter knows how to recruit this area, so he should be able to get DePaul going, which is great for the city.
Excellent. Is your time up? I need to have you give you back your phone.
Minute 30 left.
No, we don't need to give him his phone back. Javen Terry here, $9.99. Hogue, FYI, chat is usually a source for information. That's how streaming works. Streamers ask the chat for information all the time. We just happen to have a lot of idiots in ours.
We have no idiots. We love everybody.
Yeah.
All right. We have a few.
I agree with that super chat. I would just say that there's you have to build up a little credibility within the chat. Whereas Greg is his name. He'll just read X66222497
I trust our
with the egg emoji
loyal supporters to the show. I trust them.
and read it as if it was fact. For as much as people think I hate Gary Ross, Gary has earned the credibility.
Gary's our MVP.
Where if he puts something in there, I'm going to not blurt it out loud. I'm still going to double check to see if Adam Schefter can corroborate. But I'm going to take it more seriously than alarm, Bears sign X.
Well, I mean, Ethan Rucker, $4.99. Carm traded to Saudi Arabia.
3, 2, 1.
That one's actually true. That's actually accurate.
Well, we
All right,
we
your
were.
timer's up.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
I will take
Give it
again.
up. Look at that. 5 minutes. Give me the phone.
You do know that was your best 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah, talking college basketball.
There you go, buddy.
I'm locked into the college basketball scene right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe Justin
You doubting
will play for the
Purdue's
Demons.
rise here in March? Are you doubting it, Carm?
I just can't do a DePaul breakdown right now as to
You
why
can do
they'd be
a
good in the middle of
Purdue
Bears free agency.
breakdown right now.
Okay. More importantly than that, give me another super chat so I
let's
can
keep
get
it
back
going.
on track here. Thank you, Ethan. I'm not going to Saudi Arabia, at least not yet, but you never know. The future is unknown. One prominent media member texted me this morning that he's moving to Florida.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
Cannot reveal. $4.99. Love owns you now. I love your pain. You get Swift. I get Jones and Jacobs. Super Bowl Dynasty to Green Bay starting 2024. You want to respond to that, Greg, after you get off your phone? Okay, never mind. You too
Oh,
late.
assholes back? Oh, you
$2.
love our pain, huh? Huh? You love our pain. Well, screw you.
$2 from Sean Humphrey. What about Leonard Williams on the defensive line? Leonard Williams, anybody? Leonard? No.
Yeah. Oh, he's good. I mean, Seattle gave up a lot for him.
I mean, he did make our graphic. I'll say that about Leonard, as did my guy Leonard Floyd. Double Leonards. Nobody wants Leonard Floyd because he doesn't fit the scheme other than me. Guy just left the Bears and hasn't stopped sacking quarterbacks. Okay.
Oh, that was a great moment on Friday's show when they called you out for Leonard Floyd, and you were just like, he'll fit the scheme.
That's right.
You just defiantly,
Defiantly.
you pulled the brags.
That's fine. That's right. He doesn't fit the scheme. Okay, enough with this.
A hand in the dirt, 4-3 DN. Don't roll your eyes. That's how this game works.
We're going to rework the defense for Leonard Floyd. That's what
That would be a terrible decision.
$1.99 from Matt. Would you trade the number 1 and number 9 picks for Aaron Rodgers? No, we would not. Absolutely not.
No.
I wouldn't trade the Bears' second-round pick that they were to acquire for Justin Fields that they're not going to acquire.
The Jets didn't even have to trade that for Aaron Rodgers.
$1.99 from Alex Avelis. Alex, you're the man. Chris Lindstrom's brother, Alec, is a free agent center.
There you go.
There's still a bunch of them out there. It just doesn't seem like the Bears have any interest in bringing in a free agent center. They love
Should we talk hockey now?
the Bates Motel. You're the Mr. Hockey now, buddy.
I know.
7 goals last night.
Best game of the year.
DKK,
I think that's the currency.
that's the currency, Super Chat?
I don't know what DKK is.
DraftKings Kaboom?
currency. DraftKings currency 17. I don't know that one. What's the super chat?
Is that
or is it just
Danish krones.
Oh, it's our Danish guy.
Oh, good Danish
Danish
krone.
krones?
0.15 United States dollars per
Sounds like
Danish krone.
something I eat for breakfast.
It sounds delicious.
Sounds
it really
amazing.
does.
I wanna eat
little
it.
coffee on the side. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Still got to figure out lunch.
Well, speaking of lunch, we actually had a
Jake?
super chat about that. Hands down sent $20. And, of course, there's going to be some more F words in here. Let's fucking go, CHGO Sports. Lunch is on me. DM me your orders. I got y'all. Hashtag all day long. Bear fucking down.
Now
Let's
that
go.
is a teammate.
Is that real?
Yes, that's real, but we're not going to do that because we love Hands Down, and we're not going to make him pass lunch.
Nice of hands down to
Unless you
offer
wanna
us
do it there,
lunch.
buddy.
I want to make you.
Nice of hands down to offer us lunch. Jim didn't offer us lunch.
I mean, Jim
You
had a
weren't even here last week.
Jim had a pizza party for everybody when
What
we
did
weren't
you
here.
buy lunch for last week?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago when we weren't here.
Yeah, when we were all
yeah,
in
yeah.
at
weren't
the
here.
combine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Salerno's. Yeah, Salerno's. Yeah, pizza. The best in the city. Great partner to us. No
Bear
way
show.
that you Didn't get it. Oh, great. Was it good,
Everybody
Sarah?
eats split up.
Was it? Oh, good.
Bear
Glad
show
you
out
could
of
pop
town.
your head out and give us that information.
Bear show out of town. Lunch for everybody. This 4-hour show.
I'm actually going to give Jim credit. I mean,
No, it was a good move by Jim.
if you're buying lunch, it's probably a good idea to do it when half the room's not here. Right?
That is decent strategy, actually.
It's a couple dollars.
Fred Carman would appreciate that strategy. I love my dad.
I want Salerno's.
You guys
I
are all invited to my
love
birthday
Salerno's.
party, but Jim
Great
can't
sponsor.
come.
What's that?
You're all invited to my birthday party, but Jim can't come.
Ooh. Wow. Dunked on Jim. That's messed
We're
up.
going to have Salerno's and Miller Lite.
Good point.
Yeah, thank you for the beers, Jim. We love you.
Keep the super chats going here, guys. Andrew Tarbill, $2. Braggs, great coverage as always. Braggs, look up. There you go.
Oh,
Great coverage as always,
thanks.
guys. He's trying to be nice to you. You're not even looking at him.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'm about to take that away again.
What?
You
Do something, Ryan. Make a move.
They already made a move.
Make more moves. I'm bored. This is a 4-hour show. On with the moves.
4 hours and 10 minutes.
Danielle Hunter,
3 hours.
a wide receiver, a center. Do something while I sit here. Because I swear to God, if we end the show and then you make a move, you're going to piss me off. And I am one of your biggest supporters in this city.
That
He's
you
being
are.
serious right now, too. He's going to actually be mad.
$5 from Quinn Anderson. I guess we try to trade Fields to the Vikings now. Not afraid of him. And might get a slightly better fit because it's the NFC North. That would be... I don't think it'll happen. How's that? Do you? Does anybody think that's going to happen?
I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. I don't think the Vikings are interested.
Well, none of the NFL seems to be interested, so they might as well just fall
Tom
in line. Nobody.
Pelissero, breaking news. Hit the alarm. We've got something to talk about, baby.
Is it Bears?
Tom Pelissero is announcing. Are we doing the...
It's just going
We're
real
not
slow.
doing
There
that.
it is.
There it is. Tom Pelissero reporting the Packers are releasing star Aaron Jones per sources. 3-time 1,000-yard rusher. Jones missed time with injuries last season and was due to make $12 million in 2024. Instead, he hits the market at age 29.
Well, that makes more sense for the Josh Jacobs signing.
But they just went from Jones to Jacobs. That feels like a win.
That sounds like a downgrade to me.
I
Jones had some health issues last year, but Aaron Jones is better than Josh Jacobs. I think this was just more related to his age. He's getting closer to that 30 mark that
He's
running backs fall off the
29.
hill.
I'll take Aaron Jones right now. See you later, Roshan.
This seems like a good time to read this super chat from Love Owns You Now. Love only has to worry about the Lions now, but Goff ain't nowhere near Love's talent. Stars align for another NFC North dynasty. Favre, Rodgers, Love. Well,
That's right.
enjoy your running back
Yeah,
situation.
didn't he just have a super chat up there about how Aaron Jones and Josh
Yeah,
Jacobs
well.
are going to run over the Bears? Well, now Aaron
Guess the
Jones
chat's
isn't
a little
on the
less
team.
super.
Sucker.
Okay.
That's surprising. That's a running back swap I did not anticipate.
Did the
today.
Bears know that was coming? I'm assuming they did because they're the Bears and everybody knows everything that's going on in the NFL.
So you would rather have a 29-year-old running back who costs more money
What do you think he's
and
going
is
to get?
coming off a hamstring?
Well,
right? That bothered him all year.
What do you think he signs for?
Than DeAndre Swift.
1 year prove it deal? Aaron Jones? Anybody?
1 year prove it deal.
Well, I don't know what he's going to get. He was due $12 million this year, though.
I mean, when that contract comes out, I bet it's a 1 year prove it deal. And at that point, I would have been interested in him for sure.
Matt Hepler, $5 super chat. Sam Darnold is favorite for Vikings. We need to trade up for a wide receiver because Atlanta is going Rome at 8.
Most people think that Rome's not making it to 8. Rome's getting a lot on going 5 to someone because the Chargers might trade out of it.
He's number 3.
But that's why
overall
the
on my
Bears
board.
that's why the Bears need to invest in wide receiver now. Because you don't know how the draft is going to fall to you. And yes, we've seen teams find wide receivers later in the draft, the Packers being one of them. Last couple years, and I know this is a wide receiver heavy draft, but the Bears got to look at this list as we have it here. Calvin Ridley, Marquise Brown, Noah Brown, Tyler Boyd, somebody we brought up here on the show before, Odell Beckham, Demarcus Robinson, DJ Shark, Jalen Reagor, Curtis Samuel, Darnell Mooney, obviously still available. And so they've got to look at this and pick somebody there because they need more than one wide receiver. That goes without saying to add to this room. Right now, you just have DJ Moore and Tyler Scott that you know you're rolling into next year. Velus Jones is on the roster, but what you can get from him at the wide receiver position right now, I'm not counting on any of that. So bring in a veteran and then look at who falls to you in the draft because you don't have enough there, period.
Yeah, we are at the point where literally any name that was just put on the board and sign a receiver, any receiver, and depending on the contract numbers, of course, but it would feel like a win.
Let me ask you guys this. If the Bears don't sign one of those wide receivers that I just showed you there, do you feel like the Bears have to trade up to try to get somebody in the draft?
Good question.
It's looking more and more like the top three that we all talk about of Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Roman Tunze are gone by the time they get to 9.
Or they're trading the number 1 pick back to 2 or 3 and drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, according to Robert Friel and others that still want to believe in that scenario. I'm just saying, like, that's some people are like, because we're talking about only the scenario where a wide receiver falls to 9, but technically they could keep Fields, trade the pick back to 2 or 3, and draft Marvin Harrison Jr., and there's your wide receiver. Don't give me that look.
You said according to Friel, who you tried to kick out of the chat.
Every day. But I'm not going to dismiss his scenario that he wants. I'm not going to dismiss it.
I'm going to dismiss you. Why are you not dismissing that scenario? Do you think that's a legit scenario?
I don't believe that's going to happen, but
I said it.
It's still on the table. It is still on the table. Yes. They still have to go to Caleb's pro day. They still have to get his medicals. You can't guarantee me they're 100% sold. From everything we've heard and everything that we're monitoring, it does appear that way. But not everything is as it seems to appear at times in life. So you just never know. Caleb Williams could go to his pro day, walk across the street, and get hit by a bus. And then what are you gonna do? I mean, so anything can happen. You can't just say this is finite and this is how it's going to go down.
That is the first time I've ever taken a mini nap on the show.
We do have some breaking news of a different variety here. This from our own general manager, Jake Flanagan. We expect to announce the details for our 2-night NFL draft event this week.
Okay.
And on top of that, Woot will be there. Corey Wooten will be joining us. And there's going to be more details to come in the next couple days here.
All right. Woot. Yes. I'm super excited for our draft party. I'm super excited for the rest of this day.
Okay, but
there's nothing.
You've even said it on the shows before, Hoge, that we have dismissed the keep Justin Fields side of the conversation on this show too much.
Can we put Brandon's comment up too? It's a great point. He said if Caleb Williams gets hit by a bus, who's going to want to trade up to number 1?
I'm just saying anything can happen, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going to get hit by a bus. I'm just trying to point out.
You did say that.
No, your logic.
I can get hit by a bus.
Your logic.
We can go to lunch right now, and I can get hit by a bus. Then who's going to break news on this show?
Robert Friel.
All right. Getting back to Steven's original question.
Which was what? I blacked out.
You do not need to trade up for a wide receiver because there's so many wide receivers in this draft. It's a deep wide receiver draft.
Yeah, but they don't have a pick until the 3rd round after. I mean, you're asking for a lot. I understand
either
it's
draft Brian Thomas or you can trade back and add more draft capital. Still don't know what you're going to have for Fields here. So I don't think you have to panic because you didn't sign one of these wide receivers.
Look, in a perfect world, I agree with what you're just teeing up. But again, if I'm Kevin Warren, and Ryan Poles is asking me, which he probably isn't because he's Ryan Poles and he's confident he knows what he's doing. How's this? If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm drafting multiple receivers in the later rounds. I'm taking 2, even with our limited picks, because we need a bunch, and I'm gonna do a little insurance that I get it right by taking multiples, considering my history.
Another NFC North signing, according to Tom Pelissero, Vikings are signing Minnesota native and linebacker Blake Cashman. Played at Minnesota. He's a Gopher. Boo. 3-year deal up to $25.5 million. So Vikings have now added Andrew Van Ginkel and Blake Cashman to their defense.
And Jordan Schultz is reporting, sources to Bleacher Report, Saquon Barkley's decision came down to the Bears, Texans, and Eagles. Wow. So that's interesting. If the Bears, I'm not saying they offered, it'd be interesting to know what they offered them.
The timing of that's interesting. They hear from Saquon earlier in the day because they signed Swift right away.
Saquon's also a Pennsylvania native. It could just be being closer to home, too. I'm sure that's
But I'm
a
just
factor.
saying, I can't imagine they were still in on Barkley after signing Swift. So if it really...
No, they kicked the tires on Barkley. They figured out that how much he was going to go for, and they decided that Swift was either A, a better value, or B, that Saquon was interested in going elsewhere. It doesn't surprise me that they were in on it. If you were going to pay DeAndre Swift, you're certainly going to explore everyone else. It makes sense. Jordan's a good dude.
I just saw a tweet that... Oh, here it is. Bilal Nichols, former Bear, is headed to Arizona. $4.4 million guaranteed. So 3-year, $21 million, 14 guaranteed. Nice contract for Bilal Nichols, who is a good player here before going off to the Raiders.
We did not appreciate Bilal Nichols to the level that Bilal Nichols...
Well, it was a scheme change, which is why they let him go.
But look at the zombie apocalypse. Carm barely fits the CHGO scheme, and he keeps on keeping on. We could have kept on keeping on with Bilal Nichols, damn it. I hate scheme fits. I officially hate that more than anything else in the game of football.
You and Mark Potash.
Well, and that's a good person for me to be aligned with. I love Potsy, and so do you. Scheme fits suck. Good players are good players, damn it.
Well, the good players are good players. The second, third level players that
right, Bilal
are only good in a certain scheme are scheme fits. Hall of Famers transcend scheme.
That's why
Bilal Nichols in the wrong scheme is probably not getting paid $14 million guaranteed.
Excellent point. That's why I'm a Hall of Famer, because I transcend the scheme of CHGO. Thank you. You underlined that beautifully. Hall of Famer.
If you make a single Hall of Fame.
What
Hall of Fame are you in?
I am trending towards the all-time Chicago unappreciated Hall of Fame.
The unappreciated Hall of Fame.
I think if you were to name unappreciated members in the history of Chicago media, I have an outside chance of getting in. Right there with Red Motlow and
you and Potsy.
And Mike Esposito.
Michael Renouf is requesting his super chat be read because he has to go back to work soon. So let's appease Michael Renouf, who's always in our chat and is a great dude. So he said $1.99, Michael Renouf. On the bright side, Vikes and Pack are hurting. You can go back to work now, Michael.
Jim Mamalo, you're in there too, buddy. Unappreciated Hall of Fame. Ooh.
I want to go to that Hall of Fame. I would visit that Hall of Fame.
Dave Ennett might be the mayor of that Hall of Fame. Guy's freaking gold.
Ennett is in an actual Hall of Fame.
That's true.
Isn't he in 2?
Maybe he's in 7. He's still, and even then, he's still unappreciated.
Okay. Well, I agree with that, but
what?
The Duke $20 super chat. If Caleb gets hit by a bus or bus-like vehicle as pro day. Braggs just made himself a prime suspect.
I mean, you know what your logic is. If he gets hit by a bus, it's terrible logic. That's when you know your logic sucks. Well, if a meteor struck Earth, it'd be a great pick.
If a meteor strikes
It's
Earth,
an example of anything can happen.
Right.
if a meteor strikes Earth, the Bears draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Makes perfect
Sure,
sense.
they're trading out of that pick and keep adjusted.
It's great logic.
Anything can happen.
You know what? I'm trying to allow the possibility, and you guys won't.
You're just
So
trying to
free-
stay in the good graces of the
For
field.
Friel.
people. Let's be honest.
Friel.
Yeah,
I'm
Friel.
trying to stay in the good graces of Friel.
Friel.
Let him have that scenario until it's not a scenario anymore.
You just screamed at Robert Friel the other day. Why do you want to be in his good graces?
I don't.
What do we got?
Well, while you guys are laughing, the Panthers make a move. They sign Robert Hunt, guard, to a massive deal, and those numbers aren't out yet. That's per Ian Rappaport.
Got 5 years, $100 million. Holy
Oh, I guess
moly.
numbers are out.
For a guard?
Garofolo saying
there is.
5 years, $100 million deal for Robert Hunt moving from the Miami Dolphins to the Carolina Panthers.
I'm going to have to call Gary Ross for his opinion on that because I don't have one.
That's a lot of money. Holy. I love the Panthers. The Panthers are great.
God bless the Panthers.
They're fun.
All right, $9.99 from Corey. I am legend. I respect people who call themselves that. Would you guys agree that this year's free agency has been underwhelming for the Bears so far? I was expecting more splash. All I'm seeing so far is a few drips. You're speaking Braggs' language right now.
But who have
Who's
they
not listening? But that's okay.
The only player that I'd say that they've not signed that I really feel like
Wilkins?
they're missing out would be Christian Wilkins.
Right.
Well, and that's not Braggs' language. I'm asking if that's something they'll have that they would now reconsider because the market wasn't what they thought it would be to trade him. But I still don't think even beyond the 50 cents on the dollar or even you saying they could potentially release him.
That's not the language he was talking about. What his chat was that it's underwhelming so far, which I think you do agree with.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. I thought Mel Kiper got me excited about a first round pick. You ruined my life, Mel.
No, but you want more.
Now you're telling me I can't even get a second round pick?
That's different though. He's talking about splashing in free agency.
You've wanted more action today, Gregory.
And here, but this is the deal.
Love action.
And Bears fans should know this. It's a great movie.
Draft day?
What most free agent, this fool's gold. Free agency is usually fool's gold. And the players we get excited about today almost never live up to their contracts. What are the great free agency signings of the last 10 years for the Bears?
That's a good one.
Think about it. I would say Akeem Hicks.
Which was an
Julius
understated deal.
Peppers is the greatest free
Julius
agent
Peppers?
signing on day one ever, maybe.
And that was pretty much the only one that was a lot of money. I'd love to hear from the chat if there's any other ones you guys have.
Give me one offensive Bears free agent signing that's been phenomenal.
Moose and Mohammed.
Okay, that was 20 years ago.
Super
but yeah.
Bowl touchdown, baby.
That generally didn't really work, though.
And they got to the Super Bowl, though.
But that's kind of the point. These
T.J. Edwards by Ben Peddle is a good call.
looking good. It's been 1 year, but-
Robinson being brought up in the chat, 100%. Allen was a great signing.
We could get another Jaguars wide receiver. We'll see.
A-Rob's a good call.
Well, according to the chat, I've seen 100 times we've already signed Calvin Ridley. They're fucking with me. Yeah, Brandon Marshall. Was that in a trade, though? That was a trade.
Brandon Marshall was a trade.
Yeah, so not a free agent signing.
Wasn't Martell's been in a trade, too?
Albert McKinney bringing up Tim Jennings. Love Tim Jennings. Tim Jennings, my guy.
But here's my point. Guys like Akeem Hicks, Tim Jennings, even T.J. Edwards, they were not the splashes They weren't the ones that. So my point, you guys are kind of making my point.
Mike Glennon.
The value free agents end up being not the big splashes that everyone that Braggs is yelling at Ryan Poles through his microphone right now to just do something.
Yeah.
Please.
Like Peppers is really Antonio Andy Dalton.
That was a great one.
That was a
in
great
March.
day.
Thomas Jones.
We just had to go have Andy Dalton.
Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon. I'll never forget that day. That's where, like, I hear Bears fans go, well, if he's the quarterback on my team, I'll support him until he's not. Ain't nobody was supporting Mike Glennon. The day they signed him, we were all like, no. And then we booed him every minute he was on the Bears.
Dude had one of the greatest 4-game appearances in Bears history. Nobody went 1-3 the way Mike Glennon went 1-3 and forced Mitch Trubisky back on the field.
It's a great win against the Steelers.
Glennon was phenomenal. Had an elite neck, good neck.
Throat goat.
Rolled snacks, everything today.
Guy had a good neck. Just a straight giraffe.
Why?
I mean, he was. He looked like a giraffe. He was our giraffe quarterback.
We heard you, and then you said it again. It's very rude.
That's not nice. You're right. I'm sorry, Mike. But you're rich. You're good. Anybody else with anything else?
Andrew Billings. Again, my point. The value free agents end up being the best ones. Okay.
Nick Moreano in the chat. Did you just say throat goat?
Nick, you've missed a lot.
Oh,
Nick's in his
it's
professional.
a 4-hour show, Nick. You'll have to find the
Nick,
point where we took a turn. I think that was at the.
Like 10 minutes in. What are you talking about? We took a turn. It's just started off like
We
Yeah.
could probably use another hit from Nick if anything's going on to get us to 3 o'clock here, but I think we're okay.
I think what we're going to do here is probably end the show soon.
You think it's over?
4-hour show.
We got to get home to get in position for
For what?
for the next
breaking
show.
news.
the next show.
No, this is the show.
Well, if you'd like to sit here and keep going while I drive home.
I know, because I got to fight through traffic too.
Okay. So, but we're only 28 minutes away from the deadline here. I think we can do
what
it.
Deadline?
What deadline?
Deadline?
What are you talking about?
The 3 o'clock deadline.
This isn't the trade deadline.
What 3 o'clock trade deadline? You think it ends?
Something
here?
What do you think
happens.
today is?
Something happens at 3 o'clock today.
No.
Or maybe it's 3 o'clock on Wednesday?
What?
No, there's something that happens at 3 that's official today.
You'll have to take a pee is probably what that is. Other
At
than
3
that,
o'clock on Wednesday, the official start of the new league year.
Exactly. We're staying here till 3 on Wednesday. I feel like bragging right now. Close enough. Listen. Okay, if Gary Ross says there's no deadline today, there's no deadline today.
there is no deadline. There was the start of the free agent period, which now goes.
Okay, I got
All
it.
right, let's fire through whatever remaining super chats we have.
Did I tell you about my victories yesterday? Have we talked about that yet?
No, I don't want to.
It was so good. I'm so talented.
Quinn Anderson, $10. Would it make sense to keep Justin as the starter until the trade deadline, try to flip him to a needy team? Can have Caleb sit for a while, but still get him as a starter to grow and develop? Does that sound appealing to Caleb Williams? Would be my question.
Why would we do things based on just Caleb? They're not going to do it, Quinn. But I'm getting more and more interested in doing that than by the minute.
Why not $4.99? If it's a slam dunk that we should get rid of Fields and take Williams, why are we afraid to trade Justin Fields to the Vikings?
Because we're the Bears, and the Bears get everything wrong, and we're always going to be afraid.
I don't think anybody's actually afraid of that.
You think the Bears would trade him to Minnesota?
I think if the Vikings are the only team that would give you a draft pick right now, you'd probably do it. Because you could let him go, and he could sign that. I think it's a moot point. I don't think the Vikings are interested.
Okay, the Vikings are your best offer, and it's a 4th round pick. And whoever will give you a 5th rounder in the AFC. Don't you think they trade him for a 5th rounder and not put him in the division? I would think they'd take one.
Yes, but you're creating a scenario that doesn't exist right now.
I think that probably exists. Somebody is giving you a 5th rounder to have him be your backup. No, he's got less value than Mac Jones. This is depressing.
don't. Yeah, his value should be better than Mac Jones, but it's been a very interesting situation. All right, Jack Bayer, $4.99. Keep Justin. When QBs start getting injured, his value will go up. I mean, that is a real. I mean, I'm not denying that. I do. You look at 60 some odd quarterbacks started in the NFL last year, and plenty of them were desperate.
Right, but it's the opposite of what Poles has said, trying to do right by him. So your supernova, if you will, option of just releasing him might actually be on the table.
Yeah. I mean, that would be crazy, but, I just think that as we go to SCO 6 tray here, $5 super chat. Hey, geniuses, Justin Fields was never on the market. Only the number 1 pick will be traded. But keep hope alive.
Okay, SCO.
I think there's some sarcasm in there.
This is a great experiment that we're doing right now. Keep it rolling.
We're just going to keep it going. Brian Marshall, $5. If he stays, the fans will turn on Fields so fast if he struggles at all.
That's super interesting. Absolutely positive.
That shit. Why do we have this on me right now? What are you doing, Steven?
It was an experiment to see how long it would take before you realized.
Bragg's cam.
Yeah.
It was about a minute.
Honestly,
it could have been a lot longer.
It could have been way longer.
Earlier.
They could have. They do that at Bulls games for the
exactly.
people that are completely clueless.
Oh, well played, you assholes. Brian Marshall already did his super chat. Meet the max. $5. $5 super chat. Or did we do Brian Marshall? We did it. We did it. We did it.
Welcome back to the show.
You got it right.
Back. I've been watching since the beginning in my first ever chat. I have always loved Hoge from before, but the show and Braggs, you are my man. I'm your guy. You're my guy. We're both guys. No one likes Carm. David Galvez.
Was that what you were doing during that time? That's your burner, and you just put that super chat in there?
Yes.
So yeah, okay.
That was a good flip in there. I give you props for that. $4.99. Stop. Go back to your phone. David Galvez. D nuts to the Bears. Yes. Great call, David Galvez. Ray Scarpelli not in the chat, but we love Ray Chevy. A lot of action today. Surprised by the running back movement. That's in my personal text. So shout out to Ray and Ray Chevy. Yes.
CHGO Cram, a.k.a. Eric, our guy.
Yeah.
Said I could see you're ignoring my texts because you're on your phone, and then he texted me, tell your cohorts if we get Hunter, you'll have another bottle of Kentucky bourbon, E.H. Taylor, coming your way.
Wait, so if the Bears spend money on Danielle Hunter, we get bourbon?
That's what he's saying.
Done. Sign him.
See? If I didn't have my phone, we wouldn't have known that.
That's why CHGO Cram is the man.
Richard Stone, $199. Kirk making $140 million next year. I don't think that's completely accurate, but
your point is accurate, Richard Stone. He's making $17 zillion to be a quarterback coming off an Achilles at 36.
I've done this thing before, but Mike McCartney got to be a legend. His agent?
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Put him in. How many Hall of Fames can he go in? Kirk Cousins is.
Well, people were thinking that he literally was going to get a 2-year deal with $100 million guaranteed. That was the rumor before today.
I mean, I want to be Kirk Cousins. He's made an insane amount of money for how good he actually is.
Has he ever won a playoff game?
He's
off the top of my head, I don't think he has.
I thought he's won one.
The Vikings win one last year?
Well, let's say hypothetically he's won one.
No, I don't think
That's
they
still
lost.
terrible.
They lost that first game to the Giants last year.
I honestly, I don't know, and I'm embarrassed that I don't.
Well, you don't have to be embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed.
He won one. So add up his career earnings, one playoff win. That is crazy. We could also do the zoom in one more time here for the last probably 60 seconds once again.
Patriots have informed, per Adam Schefter, Patriots have informed Devontae Parker that they are releasing him Wednesday, and he has now been given permission to talk to other teams.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
$2 super chat, Jared. Make free agency
A drinking game from here on out.
Questions a drinking game?
Make it just
A.
A, yeah.
Yeah, the A is
It's a
close to
lowercase a.
And Kirk Cousins has won one playoff game. It was in 2020 versus the Saints.
So actually very proud of myself. I got it right. Good job, Carm. Way to go, me.
It was the COVID year. No one remembers that.
Yeah, but Carm had one none. Carm remembered. Carm is the man. Talk to me, Carm.
Gaming for veterans, $4.99. So with Kirk going to Atlanta, where's Fields ending up?
That is the question we're all wondering, Gaming for Veterans.
Thank you for the super chat.
The most popular pick right now via our chat is the Bears. At least the ones that are speaking. Hashtag our chat.
I'm thinking Raiders at this point. Cam Flash $9.99. Bear down all the way, but someone needs to take away Brisker's phone. We haven't beat the Pack in years. Side note, we need to go get Hunter. Bear down.
I honestly agree with that, Cam. Jaquan Brisker should not tweet. It's just getting weirder. As much as I appreciate 9. It's not his best. Says some. Dak ZQ.
Some people say that about Carm's Twitter account too.
My Twitter is amazing. I feel bad. Whoever put money on Justin Fields to Atlanta. A lot of people did, man. The betting favorite for a reason, which would be the people who are betting it, and you lose.
We do have some breaking news. If I could get the thing here.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
All right.
For the 12th time in his career, Zach Edey has been named Big Ten Player of the
not a
Week.
free agent
A
alert.
2-0 record, 26.5 points per game, 11 rebounds per game this week, 12 weekly honors in the last 34 weeks.
He's muted, guys.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's continue with this Bears show that we got here. Nobody hears him. Keep going.
You're muted. You're muted.
I feel bad. Yeah, we did that one. Okay, Matt Hepler, $9.99. He has a 2023 Pro Football Focus. Miles Sanders allowed 2 sacks, 2 hurries, and 39 pass blocking opportunities, while Swift held his own in pass protection, not allowing a sack, hit, or hurry in 23 pass blocking opportunities. Thank you, Matt.
That's good knowledge.
That would be the example of the chat providing credible information.
Hepler on a Ross level, going deep. Thank you, Matt.
Making a run at Braggs' number 3 seat.
That's what you guys get for your fire alarm emojis right there. A little fake out. Tyler Wenzel, $1.99 super chat. What percent? I'm talking to the chat. They're mad at me because I faked them out with the breaking news. They've been faking me all out. This is, comeuppance. Tyler Wenzel in the chat, $1.99. What percent chance Bears draft Adunze at 9? I'm hoping a very high chance, but I don't feel great about him falling unless quarterbacks like J.J. McCarthy get drafted in the top 8.
You should make tonight's After Dark Braggs versus the chat and host that show. I think it'd be a good show.
I had a very prominent member of the media ask me at Saturday night at the Northwestern game. And
His name was Kevin Fishbane.
And I quote, no. Upper level. Fishbane wasn't actually at the game.
Oh, big fan.
He had a wedding.
Oh,
I'm with Braggs. Should have been there. Wedding overrated. Those happen all the time.
Boo Booey's final game.
Boo Booey's
or
final
wedding.
game. Where the hell is Fishbane?
People get married all the time. The person's wedding. Go
Warren
ahead.
Commodore from The Athletic got married.
You go for the ceremony. You leave for the game. It was an 8 o'clock game.
Marriages come and go. Boo Booey is forever. Now, what are you going to say to me?
A very prominent member of the Chicago sports media landscape.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that has already been mentioned on today's show, by the way, too.
Oh, God.
Asked me, and I quote, "What's the deal with that Braggs guy?"
What do you mean, what's my deal?
No. So there you go. And I just said,
Some people don't recognize greatness.
I just said, I don't know. We're all trying to figure that out. That's exactly what I said in response. Abu Basic, $4.99. Poles isn't making the moves we thought he was. What were you guys expecting heading into this? Honestly, I was expecting a running back, which they got, a run at Christian Wilkins, which I think we'll find out they were in on, and maybe a wide receiver, like second or third tier. Oh, and a safety, which they addressed yesterday. It's not like they haven't done anything.
Yeah, I'm not I would have been more surprised, honestly, if the Bears had spent $27 million on Christian Wilkins. As excited as I was about the possibility, this is basically what I expected: strategic, measured value plays around the roster heading into the draft. As they look, I think we have to take a step back here a little bit. They won 3 games 2 years ago. They were the worst team in the NFL record-wise. They won 7 last year. They decided to keep the coaching staff. I get it. They've upgraded, hopefully, with the offensive and defensive coordinator. They're sitting here with the number 1 pick. But they are going to be in what is the most likely scenario. They're going to be playing a rookie quarterback in year 3 of the Poles/Flus era. This is not a team that's expected to, win the Super Bowl next year. They are expected to take a jump, and Kevin Warren's expecting them to be a playoff team. But that would be a big win for the Bears next year if they can win 10 games and get in the playoffs. So this is kind of the offseason I expected because they're not one player away.
Ryan R. 499, hate to be this guy because I'm big on Caleb, but what if there's no Justin Fields bidding action because he wasn't really being shopped? Smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
Guys, general managers don't talk about trading their starting quarterbacks if they're not really putting that player on the market. I love the world these days. Ben, 199, how about Brock Bowers at 9 if the top wide receivers are gone?
Bowers is more exciting if they can trade down to get him for me. But yes.
Yeah,
sure.
I just don't think it's a big enough need, but I do like Bowers a lot. Carlos Span 499 for the Packer fans. Stop calling your team a dynasty. You had an MVP quarterback for 18 seasons. You won 1 Super Bowl.
Losers.
I imagine there's no good Packer podcasts on. Super chat of the day right there by Carlos. Thank you very much.
No. You listen to us, Packer fans. We're better than your Packer podcast.
What's what he's saying? He said there's no other Packer pod to listen to, so they're listening to us.
So Nick Moreano and Jeremy Fowler both retweeted a fake breaking news tweet from a fake Adam Schefter account. Linebacker Patrick Queen agreed to the Seahawks. So even the greatest. See what happens. Nick, you got to do push-ups. It's okay. It happens to us all as Carm
Dies.
Gagged on the show. Jeremy Fowler also retweeted it. It happens. It happens to the best of us. There is no shame in the Twitter game, my friend. I'm not here outing you.
Even though you just outed them.
To laugh at you or, throw dirt on you.
He's doing it to prop himself up.
Doing it to
Remember
prop
that bus?
myself up.
No. Remember that bus that you said was running over Caleb Williams?
The bus just ran over Nick
You just did
Moreano
that
and
to your
Jeremy
teammate.
Fowler. I mean, hey, Jeremy Fowler did it too. Jeremy's one of the top insiders out there right now. So if I and me and Nick are in the same category as someone like Jeremy Fowler, I'll take that.
All right, I got some navy bean soup that's calling my name. $4.99 from Dax ZQ. Funny if Mac and JF1's worth are 6-rounders. Why not the Vikings take a swing at Trey Lance? I'm assuming that's what it says. Somewhere.
I like what we got going.
It is what it says. We're having a fun YouTube glitch here where a Bragg's bubble keeps popping up in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen.
It's a glitch.
I think it's stopped now, but it would not go away.
Bragg's glitch.
We have a bubble?
You're a
Like
glitch.
the old producer bubble we used to have.
You're a glitch.
It's funny because I've always wanted to put Braggs like somewhere over there in a
You're a
chair and
glitch.
just have him on like a side bubble. So I think we should, now we know we can do that. I think that's what we should
My
do.
phone's on 4%, so let's wrap this up.
Oh,
Now, okay.
so
now
we're
we
supposed
need
to end the
wrap
show
the
now
match.
because once you can't be on your phone and not pay attention to the show.
What about the 3 o'clock deadline?
That doesn't exist.
4%.
8 more super chats, guys. But before we do the next one, we're only 23 subscribers away from 50,500. So about 500 just in what, the last week?
Yeah.
If you're new, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We give you Bears content Monday through Friday at noon, pre and post games, breaking news. Great way to know that we're on is by hitting that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Hitting the subscribe button is a great way to support the show. Thank you very much.
Jeff Okuda gets a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans.
Look,
Hands down, $9.99. Just curious, Tennessee is sitting at number 7 on the draft board if the Bears were to trade the number 1 pick, aren't the Titans a candidate? Waiting on lunch order.
We appreciate your lunch offer, but they're not entertaining any offers for the number 1 pick, hands down, because they're closed-minded individuals over here. D-Man Shy, $5 super chat. Carm needs to go home. He just said Glennon had good neck. Laugh my ass off. What's going on today? What do you mean? Good neck? Throat goat?
It's actually a very Carm comment.
And Carm will stand by that comment.
It's right on brand for Carm.
Good neck.
Guy's got a good neck. One of the great necks of all time.
He has a long neck. I didn't know we were going good neck.
All right. It's a neck that stood the test of time. It's a different level neck. His neck stands out from all the other necks. Man had a great neck.
Okay. What's next? Which one?
Can't believe you guys don't get
Think when
that.
Mike Glennon had a sore throat, how much more that hurt for him than others.
I don't know if it quite works that way, but that's an interesting take.
Don't think
Imagine the chiropractor when Glennon comes in.
I
there.
don't have any neck. I've been starting to get my neck back a little more, but for a long time I had no neck.
You have a nasty
because I'm
neck.
fat.
You're-
Don't nasty neck me.
You have a nasty neck.
I think
have
I've
a
told this
nasty
story.
neck.
I think I've told this story before. My roommate in college, his nickname was No Neck. But I need to be clear on that. That is not some kind of nickname that everybody gave him. Well, I'm sure at some point it was. But that's how he introduced himself to me on the first day.
Don't you think that we should introduce?
My name is No Neck.
That's amazing.
What? No, what's your real name? Oh, Andy. But everyone just calls me No Neck. That's how you introduce yourself to people? Okay.
I mean, I see.
And he was a great roommate.
Way to go, Andy No Neck.
Yeah.
I do see a future where I'm introducing the show alongside Nasty Neck Greg Braggs.
Don't nasty neck me. Tired of your mouth.
You're
hot.
disrobing?
It's hot. I'm getting hot. All these lights, and I'm getting nervous. Ryan Poles has it. Something funny over there, Tom.
You, Braggs. Don't worry. We're
I
laughing,
wouldn't
we're
mess with-
laughing with you.
I wouldn't mess with Tom. He knows people. You're barking up the wrong Tom tree.
Hurry up. My phone's
All
about
right.
1%.
Thank you. That's when
Fuck.
I can't wait to get to 0 on your phone. It's going to be the
It's a
best
good way
part
to
of
end
my
the
day.
show. All right,
Best
couple
part of my
more
day.
supers.
Can't believe this.
ECH Bears fan, $2. Where's Lawrence? Is Lawrence here right now?
Lawrence is not here right now. Steven's doing a great job producing the show. Lawrence hasn't gone anywhere. He's right here where he belongs, damn it.
Alex, $5. Best Bears signing, Fred Miller. LOL. Hashtag Carm Rules.
My guy.
There you go.
Thank you, Alex.
Ricardo, Raiders with Getsy. I don't think Justin Fields is their quarterback.
I'll tell you this, Ricardo. If the Raiders asked him, hey, man, we really would like to bring Justin in, do you think you can work with him? The answer is going to be yes. But again, I don't think that'd be his number one choice of quarterbacks to work with. But I think
Price is right, and he's the best option.
Yep, they would do it.
My phone has officially died.
Yes, we
Now-
did it.
Now all my breaking news will be coming directly from the chat.
You have a computer that can open up Twitter, I believe.
E-flat, $5 super chat.
Tell him that.
Why do I feel like I am waiting for Al Capone's vault to be open?
I feel the same way, minus like I'm on the edge of a massive cough explosion over
I
here.
thought
So.
you were going to say dump. Hands down.
Whoa.
Down.
No.
I mean, you were like,
No,
just
come
the
on.
way you were
It's
leading.
a professional show. That's where we draw the line.
This has not been a professional.
That's where we draw the line.
That's it right there.
We
Yeah.
are 4 hours in. The first hour, super professional. The fourth hour, throat goat, good neck, massive dumps. Hands down, $1.99. Super chat. Carms, Floose nickname, throat goat.
I would never do that to the Floose.
No, that's Floose's nickname for you, is what he was saying.
This one's all mine. Ethan Rucker, $5 super chat. I added a penny just for good measure. Braggs, don't listen to the haters in the comments. I appreciate the Purdue updates. Boiler up, Ethan. Big month ahead for us.
Okay.
Not nervous in the slightest.
$4.99 from Kareem just supporting the show.
Month, week and a half.
$4.99 from Kareem supporting the show.
Watch
Appreciate you, Kareem. Purdue sucks. Next up is our guy Adrian Gutierrez. Adrian, thank you. $1.99. Justin Jefferson trade for the number 1 pick. No, we're not going to do that. If they're going to do that, they should just take Marvin.
Got to pay a lot.
I'd have
1.
to give more than that.
Yeah. And John Brazio wrapping it up, $2. Hard low from Braggs today.
What the fuck did I do?
Nothing. That's what you did. Nothing.
That's what the whole 4 hours was.
I did 4-hour show. I gave a bunch of great updates. I did not fall for one fake breaking news. Carm fell for 2. Nick fell for 1. Jeremy Fowler fell for 1.
You did a great job today, Greg. You were amazing, as you always are. We are very blessed to be able to work with you day in and day out. You're an elite teammate. You'll do whatever you can to make this show successful, to make CHGO successful, to make your family successful.
Are you hearing all this, Jake?
Unfortunately for yourself, no, I'm not even going to do that. You're a great man, and we're so lucky to have been with you today.
Brad Spielberger just tweeted out the updated cap hit for the DeAndre Swift deal. 2024 cap hit is $5.83 million. That's noteworthy.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
What was it again? I didn't even hear you.
$5.83 million for 2024. That's the cap hit.
Okay. Pokey Profits. Bryce gets a C+ today, which is better than he did.
Jacob Piscini, Twitter God. Thank you.
Jacob Piscini. Yeah, you are, Braggs. You are.
Twitter God.
Hoge,
Don't
you were
worry
good too.
Did we read that one?
Yeah.
This one's new.
Yeah, hurry up so I can listen to the podcast. Don't worry, 213, which is a good point. We're going to end this so the podcasters can
Just got another one.
Kareem saying $1.99. Bears should have signed Russ to mentor Caleb. # cheap. I think he wants to go where he can start.
Caleb's better than Russ. All right.
What a day. A 4-hour show.
A 4-hour show.
It pains me to say goodbye to the 3,400 plus who've stuck with us or joined us at any point here.
We're still 10 subscribers away from 50,500. Get us there before we end the show.
Get us there. Also, draft party information's coming out in a couple days. Got Corey Wooten signing up. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. So put it on your calendar right now. We'll give you the info in a couple days on how to get the tickets and everything. We will jump back in with any breaking news that calls for it. And Bears After Dark tonight as well with Corey Wooten.
And then, are we really still doing that?
We'll talk to Jake.
Okay.
Why wouldn't we?
Why not? I guarantee we're going to have a breaking news show tonight.
Okay, great.
I guarantee it,
I look
Matthew
forward to
Gregory.
tonight's show.
Okay. There it is. All right. Well, we're going to talk to you when the news breaks, when it dictates. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow at noon anyway. So check out all that and become a diehard CHGO, allchgo.com. We'll be active on the Twitters.
I won't.
Greg will be retweeting fake news.
Logan, right out as we ride out of this show. $50 super chat to finish. If memory serves, Poles never said he was trading Fields. He said he wanted to do right by Fields and make a decision which direction they would take. I think the number 1 pick has always been on the table. Poles is playing the stupid-ass media to my right. Thank you, Logan.
How come the media doesn't respect me? I wish that those guys respected me, but they don't. Screw the media.
I think you should stand on your opinions, and then here he is pandering.
Why does it?
I'm not pandering.
Yes, you
Why
are.
does it brag
Yes, you
bigs
are.
like me? Oh, you don't care about the media. Which one is it?
Yeah.
What?
Right in the-
I'm just reading Logan's super chat.
Right on the fence, man. You're just riding the fence.
Patrick Finley doesn't like me, and he doesn't think I know football. I don't care about the media. Logan, stay. Hey, you believe what you want to believe, Logan. Nothing's over until Logan says it's over. I live your life that way.
Don't pander to Logan.
I'll pander to Logan if I want to
Hit
pander
the
to Logan.
like button. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.